Chang Dong exhaled a long puff of smoke and complained in frustration. These days webtoons are boring as hell. His two underlings followed along, saying it was all about isolation and bookworms, and even school violence. He defended sarcastically. It is because all the authors are old already that it turned out like this. The other guy sneered in reply. You have to follow the trend of the times. There are many interesting things nowadays. The guy next to him agreed. Exactly. By the way, are you watching closely? He was ordering the boy hiding in the distance, Kim So-hyun, who cursed angrily in his heart. Those damn bastards. Even so, So-hyun still smiled and said, of course, but inside he always disliked it. Is this not school violence? Chang Dong suddenly stepped forward and strangled So-hyun while mocking school violence. Please stop, he screamed. Stop, stop school violence. After playing around until So-hyun collapsed, they finally left. It seems it cannot be stopped. How awful. Let us go. Will Net Thief and his fans still do animal-like things? Until this moment he was still whispering, please stop school violence. As the era develops, more and more problems appear, yet no one comes out to stop them. Where exactly did I go wrong? Why do I have to live like this? If you look at recent online novels, usually someone like me will receive a challenge and then a reward and become stronger, just like in a game. If only I could be like that, it would be so great. So-hyun gazed into the vast empty silence. He whispered the words he was thinking in his head, quest board. Then, unable to hold back, he shouted loudly, quest board, quest board, quest board. The shout was so loud that this empty space was enough to contain his resentment. So-hyun sat in a corner in misery. Will it appear if I just do this? There is no way it could appear like this. This place is not in those webtoon novels. There is no way a quest board could appear. Trapped in suffering suddenly, So-hyun's glasses lit up brightly, which surprised him. There really was a board that appeared on it with the words, the quest board has been activated, and So-hyun stared at it as if he could not yet grasp what had just happened. From that very moment, he shouted in confusion mixed with joy, what is this? On it was written, will you begin the quest now? So-hyun concluded, my life has completely changed. A new day at the university where the young talents of the future gather. The students in the class were talking and doing various. The active ones are extroverts. The negative ones are introverts. Those who used to be bookworms and the center of attention would later be classified into introverts and extroverts. So-hyun was quite lucky, because he was considered the center rather than a bookworm. Because a bookworm like So-hyun had completely changed his life thanks to this quest board. He did not know whether this was reality or just a dream. Throughout the whole class, So-hyun kept turning the status board on and off. Perhaps he had done that around 300 times, to the point that So-hyun gradually began to believe in this unbelievable thing. Could this really be real? He was extremely puzzled before this situation. Was it asking him whether he wanted to start the quest or not? What on earth did this mean? Finally, So-hyun pressed yes with the thought, just press it and it is done right. That finger accidentally touched the belly of a female student who happened to pass by. So-hyun froze and stared at her. She brushed her hair and reminded, you are committing sexual harassment. So-hyun silently called her name, Baek Ki-rin. He scratched his face to justify, this is because of the quest board. So-hyun had just said that when he received a slap from Ki-rin. Are you crazy? Kim So-hyun went to the cafeteria and bought me some food. He held his face and asked back, cafeteria. Ki-rin sat down while carefully instructing, I want a sandwich. So-hyun retorted, can you not go by yourself? She shouted, damn it, Kim So-hyun. You also see my legs are extremely beautiful, right? The number of followers on Instagram has reached 200,000 people, so if I go to the cafeteria and fall, will you take responsibility for that? So-hyun was helpless, truly speechless. In the end, he still had to obediently comply. Fine, I will go. Ki-rin took pride in that. As expected of So-hyun, you are really kind. He was a little curious, but what about the money? As soon as she heard that, Ki-rin cursed him fiercely. Money? Are you crazy? She ordered with only one word, get lost. So Hyun had no choice but to obey. He walked alone down the long gloomy hallway. That was it. So Hyun was so afraid that he did not dare to resist at all, even though the matter was absurd as hell. Suddenly Chang Dong rushed out and grabbed his neck mockingly, stopping school violence. So Hyun could only curse, "Bastard." He bent down to sneer at him. "Damn, so Hyun, are you okay?" At this moment he could only say, "Stop school violence." They mocked without mercy. "Idiot. Before being beaten you must shout first." So Hyun was determined. "Just wait." Chang Dong grabbed So Hyun's head and asked in a threatening manner, "You know I am only joking, right?" So Hyun is gentle. He will not hold a grudge about this, he promised himself. Later, So Hyun was so afraid that the determination in his eyes gradually lost its confidence. He stared at him without looking away, as if wanting to see what he would do next. So Hyun slightly opened his mouth and whispered, "Please." They left again without a single word of farewell. "Sorry." That afternoon at the apartment in the city, he shouted loudly, "Damn it, Mom." Yet in his heart he was very sad. "Mom, I am sorry." So Hyun pleaded, "Mom, let me quit school. I can only speak boldly to you." He gave all kinds of reasons. "There is nothing to learn at school. It would be better if I quit and did YouTube instead." She ignored him and scolded, "Are you sick? Quit school." "What? Quit school?" So Hyun insisted, "Going to school is only a waste of time. It is not necessary to go to university to work at a company." She still tried to restrain her anger and chased him away. "I am holding a knife, you know. I am about to lose control, so be quiet." So Hyun held firmly to his original intention. "I really can succeed as a YouTuber." On the other side, Da Hyun mocked, "Truly a keyboard warrior. YouTuber what? Is it not just arguing online all day?" He shouted. "Kim Da Hyun, shut up." She teased back, "Kim Da Hyun, Kim Da Hyun." So Hyun got angry and left, slamming the door. "Mom, you really know nothing." She cursed him. "Are you angry at someone? The door will break." He still stubbornly refused to admit, "It is because of the strong wind, not me." So Hyun lay in his room burying his face in thought. Why am I living like this? At school he did not dare to utter a word. He peered through the gaps of his fingers thinking. Suddenly So Hyun woke up and removed his hands from his face. He immediately called for the thing he had long doubted, the quest board. Summoning all his courage, So Hyun pressed the button. "Since I am alone, why not try pressing it? Courage, I can do it." It immediately displayed the next line, and the mission system started. "If you complete the mission, you will receive a card." A card? He lay there thinking for a long time about this. What mission did it say began? "If I complete the mission, it will give me a card." The first mission that So Hyun had to do this time was to apologize to his mother. As soon as he read that, he jumped up in excitement. Apologizing to Mom is the mission. Just by doing that I can get a gold card. Can that gold card be sold? The system immediately explained that the card is the reward you can receive, made from an alloy of gold, silver, and copper. He hastily grabbed it. Anyway, I am really sorry." Da Hyun tiredly sat up and suggested, "Mom, in the end, he really is crazy. Hurry and take him to the hospital. Is this enough?" The system display made him overjoyed. "You have completed the mission. You have received the special gold card. All right." So Hyun returned to the room full of excitement. "Now I can get the gold card right. If it is a gold bar, it could probably be sold for 100,000 won, right? But how do I receive the reward? Do I have to shout open the card to get it?" Just saying that, he did not hesitate to try. Open the card. The system immediately appeared, making him not expect that such a thing would happen. "The gold card has been opened." The rainbow light covered the whole room in a magical glow. It was a large golden panel, a consumable card. Growth, 3 centimeters. Your height will increase by 3 centimeters. If you use it, the card will disappear. So Hyun was a bit hesitant at the system's question. Will you use it? He wanted to try once to confirm, so he said immediately, "I use it." The system announced, "You have used the card." So Hyun shouted loudly, making her who was carrying food startled. "Mom, I got taller. I really got taller by 3 cm. Da Hyun angrily grabbed his hand. "You crazy guy. Let go of my hand, will you? Mom, call the police quickly. He is having a fit. He recounted the details. I just measured yesterday, and it was only 168 centimeters. But when I measured again, it was already 171 centimeters. Incredibly, I was really right to apologize to Mom. The system reported for him to grasp the situation. The number of cards you have is 0. He was happier than at a festival, smiling non-stop. This is really real. She was dejected, then decided to say, Mom also apologizes for losing temper with you. Sit down and eat. He looked at her as if realizing something. So that is it. Although not saying it out loud, So Hyun already felt he had done something wrong. I also apologize about the matter at school. Then the whole family sat down to eat together. This was the first time I apologized to Mom. Early the next morning, still at the university, So Hyun walked past the crowd with a cheerful mood. Taller already. Taller already. Taller already, others whispered. What is with Kim So Hyun's face? He seems to have something good happening. He could not stop thinking about it. Now I belong to the tall class above 1M7. The air above 1M7 is really different. Someone noticed his pants. Wait, what is that? It seems he got taller. He is wearing shoe lifts. He is wearing slippers. No lifts. Look carefully. So Hyun boasted to himself. He really got taller, all thanks to the mission board. Why is there still no mission today? There must be a mission to get a card. The system appeared just as he wished. Your mission has been opened. There it is. It offered a worthy reward. If completed, you will receive 1 gold card and 1 silver card. He was a bit surprised. Again, a gold card. There is even a silver card too. Anyway, the mission is quite easy. Isn't this a bit too much? As soon as So Hyun finished speaking, she gave him a slap. Kissed Baek Ki-rin once. The reward was 1 gold card, 1 silver card, just a light touch, and she already cursed. Damn it, what? His eyes sparkled, full of childish innocence, not yet understanding. What is this? The second mission is. Ki-rin. Seeing So Hyun staring too intently, Ki-rin threatened, I will beat you to death right now. He shrank back to defend himself. So unreasonable. Wait, how could I possibly kiss her? She smugly looked at her hand. I heard that being hit by me is the wish of many people. So Hyun firmly, no way. Then she left. You will never have that fortune, just a bunch of perverts. So Hyun could be sure this mission is an impossible mission. First, just check the mission board. Is there an option to abandon the mission? I must quit this mission immediately to get a new one. As soon as he said that, the system displayed attention. What is this? An attention tab said that if you abandon the mission, all rewards up until now will be confiscated. The mission board will never appear again. So Hyun was startled and read again, confiscated rewards. Are you sure? You will abandon the mission? He shouted, drawing the attention of people around hearing, and they cursed him harshly. Hey, what is wrong with you? Going crazy? So Hyun still insisted on not believing. I did not know such a thing existed. If I abandon, will I return to the height of 168 centimeters and never be able to receive a mission again? 2 female students nearby whispered, what is going on? It is like he is touching something. Oh my god, this guy is completely crazy, dirty, so unhygienic. The mission will last until school ends, making him even more confused. No, I will never give up. I will never return to 168 centimeters again. Thinking that he made up his mind, just accept the challenge in the classroom. She was lounging, tapping her phone. Baek Ki-rin was saying, So Hyun still had not found a way to kiss. How do I do that even though he talked tough? He had no way at all, not even dating. How could he kiss without dating? How could I ever date Baek Ki-rin? Being beaten to death is already lucky, or maybe I should. Forcefully kiss her? No way I could ever do that, stuck in this mess. Suddenly, So Hyun heard someone suggest, I will kiss you. He immediately turned with delight. Really? He asked again, to be sure if you are okay with it. So Hyun shouted in panic, damn, scared me. What is it, potato? What is with your face? He honestly told the story and reminded me I got beaten. Do not let anyone know. So Hyun did not quite believe it. This you look like? You are good at fighting, yet you ended up in the same situation as me. He did not want to admit it. I also thought I was strong, but stop pitying me. Why do you keep saying, kiss kiss and sitting right next to me looks very suspicious? He glanced over. He commented on the general situation that seems a bit difficult. Just sincerely ask, and it will work. So Hyun was helpless at the answer that actually works. He took out a few typical examples. If there is free hugging, then there must also be free kissing, right? So Hyun shook his head, denying, no, potato, people like us cannot do that. He gave another suggestion. If that cannot be done, then pay and ask for help. So Hyun seized that delicious piece of idea. You are truly a genius. Kissing is just two lips touching each other anyway. Who does not love material things and money? I must give some money and ask for help. Potato, do you have money? Lend me some. I must give her money to kiss. He put his hand into his pocket, encouraging, that is right, do not worry about anything. So Hyun reached out to take the stack of money from that leather wallet, but suddenly stopped. They realized that this was a wrong action. Indeed, humans sometimes go crazy for a few minutes in a day. Sorry, I also unconsciously do not understand why I said that. You also justified a few words. Maybe we should spend a day repenting for this? He put the money back into his pocket, concluding, but about kissing, do not two people have to be together to do it? We are the type of people who cannot have that blessing. So Hyun was silent and sad. Potato said nothing wrong. When do I have time to be alone with Baek Ki-rin? Suddenly his eyes lit up, as if realizing something. There was. He remembered the exercise periods with schedules, physical education class. Her hands lay down on the desk. Baek Ki-rin, always finding excuses of illness to not have to attend physical education class. Suddenly, feeling something strange, Ki-rin opened her eyes, waking up. She held her head aching, asking someone, what? Ki-rin was asking So Hyun, you also do not attend physical education. He was startled. She woke up already. Finally, only the two of them alone. Now what should I do? Thinking, So Hyun opened his mouth. I am not very well, so, damn it. Ki-rin rested her chin, tilting her eyes, teasing. You intentionally peek at me sleeping, right? So Hyun tried to justify his action. Not like that. She still deliberately pressed on. You are dead for sure. Kim So Hyun. There will be rumors about this. Truly stupid. So Hyun firmly did not open his mouth any further. I told you it is not like that already. Ki-rin understood and ended the story. Just joking. You are not interesting at all. Hey, you are idle, right? Go buy me a box of strawberry milk. Hearing that, he immediately replied, I already bought it. What? Then Ki-rin noticed the milk box right next to the desk. I already bought it for you. Inside, he still felt a bit confused. Kissing is something only people who are dating do. She gave him a few words of praise. What? When did you buy it? Truly loyal. He was calculating and speculating like an expert. What is the percentage of Baek Ki-rin liking me? How can there be such a thing? I cannot think of anything right now. If I do not act immediately, maybe I will not be able to complete the mission. He finally mustered the courage and snatched the milk carton from her hands. Baek Ki-rin. She recoiled and cursed. Oh my god, damn it. He insisted. That's right. Ki-rin cursed So Hyun at length. What the hell are you doing, you crazy bastard? So Hyun inhaled a determined breath, drank up the spirit first, and then let's go. So Hyun slammed the milk carton hard onto the desk as if smashing all his weakness. Summoning all his courage, he shouted loudly, I don't know if you've ever kissed before. I cannot just do nothing and give up like this. Ki-rin repeated that to call him. Kiss. Hey So Hyun, do you want to try on a pair of number 8 handcuffs? He helplessly accepted. I knew it wouldn't work. So Hyun waved his hand to justify those words. I was joking. I was just curious, so I asked. But the mission failed. Suddenly a phone camera pointed at him and called softly, So Hyun. It was Chang Dong and his underlings. Will kiss you. Their crisp laughter blended into the silent atmosphere around him. They threw an arm around So Hyun's shoulder, taunting and teasing. Hey, look at this. Has everyone heard? Kim So Hyun likes Baek Ki-rin. Oh my goodness, Kim So-hyun likes Baek Ki-rin. She clicked her tongue in annoyance. I knew it. He tried hard to justify. It's not like that. Why did you turn it on? It's not like that. Hurry and delete it. He pressed So-hyun's head down in pleasure. This is so interesting. So angry, So-hyun shouted an order. Delete that video now. Chang-dong, irritated by the insult, punched him. You crazy bastard. Hey So-hyun, I'm only joking, like you joked with Baek Ki-rin. You can joke, but we cannot joke, too. We are human too. Why can't we joke? We just want to be closer to you. Whatever Chang-dong said, he slapped those words into his face. The crowd outside giggled. We want to be close to you. He looked at his bowed face in painful silence. Ki-rin, unwilling, stepped forward to stop him. What are you doing? Choi Chang-dong. Stop it. He already understands everything. And delete what you recorded. Chang-dong sprang up and obeyed promptly. If Ki-rin said it, then of course I have to listen. Well, I'm off to smoke then. Let's go guys. From the start we never filmed. We're not crazy enough to film you, So-hyun. See you later. When the troublesome group left, Ki-rin turned to him and said, Hey, you should go home if you don't want to get beaten again. That afternoon at the apartment where So-hyun lived, he sat in a corner with his face down, crying like a 3-year-old. So-hyun cried with tears streaming down, lamenting, It's all over. Until the end of class, I was beaten to a pulp and had to go home early. Why did I suddenly want to try something? If I had just given up, I wouldn't have been beaten. From now on, how can I even go to school? It seems they recorded everything, and the broken glasses too. How do I explain that to Mom? Earlier I had to struggle just to crawl back home. In the end, the mission has failed. I will return to the height of 1.68 meters anyway. Looking toward the future, the river seems wide and the road long. I was already happy to have lived at 1.70 meters. While he was still confused, a light of hope flashed. You have completed the mission. It turned out earlier Ki-rin was still holding the milk carton to drink. She hadn't drunk it yet. A kiss? What nonsense. Never. So what? She put the straw into her mouth, then realized, wait a second, damn it. Kim So-hyun had already put this in his mouth. The congratulatory light sparkled throughout the room. So-hyun was a bit dazed. Impossible. In his heart he couldn't help but wonder, how was it completed already? He decided to ignore it. It doesn't matter. Whatever. So-hyun shouted the command with determined spirit. Card open. The cards appeared, showing he had succeeded. Having a card is enough. The first gold card, I grew taller by 3 centimeters. I don't know what the reward is, but he was extremely excited. This time, it's really crazy. 2 golden and silver. He glued his eyes to it in amazement. Wonderful. The golden card displayed its content. Consumable card. Sharp eyes. The nearsightedness of the left and right eyes fixed at 2.0. If So-hyun uses it, the card will disappear, leaving him bewildered. This time the reward is eyesight. So-hyun did not hesitate any longer. He accepted immediately. I used it. The system announced that sharp eyes activated. Then he raised both his palms. The eyes of So-hyun slowly changed. His pupils became clearer. At this moment nothing had happened yet. He still could not see his palms distinctly. But just a second later, with the reward So-hyun chose, he could see both palms clearly. So-hyun turned to look at the shattered glasses on the bed and burst into laughter. He clenched his fists, excitedly raised his face and shouted, The mission is awesome, amazing. The system displayed, There is one more card, which startled So-hyun. Oh right. I also received a silver card. This time I wonder what ability it is. Compared to the golden card, it is not as good, but surely it is not too bad. Card open. Receiving the command, the silver card was quickly opened. However, something surprised him. What is this? So-hyun stared at it, asking himself, This is a silver card. It is not good at all. Not long after, he rushed downstairs with a cheerful mood. Mom, my eyes. Suddenly a voice called, Hey. Da-hyun, while eating rice, said, Eat your meal. So-hyun wondered, What? It is you, Kim Da-hyun. He pushed his chair out, asking, Where is Mom? She replied blandly, Mom works at night. So Hyun eagerly suggested. Brother would serve rice for younger sister. Da Hyun looked puzzled, emphasizing that mom prepared everything before she left. She closed her eyes, teasing. Your mouth stinks, so don't talk to me. He retorted back. The smell comes from you. Da Hyun whispered. Fine, let's say that. So Hyun lamented. Nothing good at all. Suddenly she noticed the red mark on his cheek and questioned. What now? What happened to your face? He lied without blinking. Oh, while playing with friends I fell. Da Hyun immediately guessed. Damn it, you were beaten. So Hyun still joked. Have you ever seen who hit me? She reminded. That guy is your brother. 1 year older, always bragging and showing off. Da Hyun now realized something was missing. Where are your glasses? He laughed and said, my eyes are brighter now. She did not believe. Will you stop saying nonsense? So Hyun sighed. There are some things you will never know. Da Hyun advised further. Anyway, don't talk to me at school. He paused while eating and asked, why? She frowned, annoyed, and replied, what else? The scene of So Hyun taking a full blow from Chang Dong appeared. Da Hyun's words echoed in his mind. Because I feel too ashamed. At this moment So Hyun could not resist. Chang Dong along with his 2 lackeys stood before him pretending to be friendly, asking, so you came to school? He recalled the times he bullied So Hyun and sneered. How did you even dare to come to school? The 2 behind added fuel to the fire. Chang Dong, that means he doesn't see you as anything. Perfect. He raised his brow, voice full of danger. Is that so? Once again Chang Dong grabbed So Hyun's head, kneed him and scolded him. The students in the classroom glanced over in fear while they were wreaking havoc. Hey, like this he will die. Stop it. Already need to stop. Come on. When finished he stood looking at him kneeling on the ground, arrogantly commanding, after lunch met me behind the school. The other male students quietly read their books under the warning words they left for So Hyun. You will probably vomit, so don't eat lunch. This is the life you chose. Don't blame us. Just endure it. Chang Dong will not disappoint you. When the thugs left, Guza finally spoke. I am sorry, you brushed it off. Why should you apologize? If you intervened, you would have been beaten too. Between us, that is the rule. When one endures alone, he admits in horror. That's true. But today seems more terrible than usual. So Hyun buried his face on the desk, sighing. I don't know. I suddenly asked Baek Ki-rin if she had ever kissed. Why did I even do that? Guza asked blankly. You want to kiss? You retorted. I won't do it with you. A tear fell down So Hyun's face. I will sleep, thinking inside, this is so boring. He shut his eyes, blaming his fate. Why am I living like this? Not long after it was lunchtime. The students happily ate rice while laughing together. Chang Dong at this moment held a cigarette, saying, do it again. He ordered, like you did yesterday. So Hyun knelt, smiling, awkwardly apologizing. I am sorry. Maybe at that time I was crazy. Chang Dong sneered. That won't do. He muttered, really strange. The one who hit is me. You feigned innocence. What is it? Chang Dong did not hesitate to give So Hyun a slap. But why do you have to apologize? He silently raised his hand to hold his cheek at his call. So Hyun. Chang Dong flicked the cigarette butt forward. He glanced at him and ordered, pick it up and bring it here. So Hyun looked at it puzzled. This, hadn't you already finished smoking it? His face suddenly turned frightening, coldly calling his name, So Hyun, quickly. He was forced into a corner, with no other choice but to crawl over. Just as So Hyun reached out to pick up the cigarette butt, a voice rang out, hey. Da Hyun at that moment was carrying 2 bags, walking past and seeing him doing that, confusedly asked, what are you doing? So Hyun was startled and looked up, immediately recognizing his younger sister, Kim Da Hyun. He was so panicked that sweat poured down, stammering, Kim Da Hyun, what should I do now? She frowned and questioned, what kind of nonsense are you doing? So Hyun hesitated and said, the thing is, inwardly extremely flustered. What should I say now? Chang Dong quickly put his arm around him and asked, So Hyun, who is that? So Hyun stammered, my younger sister. He was curious, you have a younger sister. He gave a small sound of acknowledgement. He immediately waved his hand, hurriedly justifying, younger sister. Don't misunderstand. I was just smoking and asked So Hyun to pick it up for me. I just didn't want the teachers to know. Chang Dong even signaled, isn't that right, So Hyun? He could only play along. Ah yes, that's right. Da Hyun still seemed unconvinced. Really? Is that so? So Hyun repeated, I already told you. Then Chang Dong turned and pulled him away, not forgetting to wave at her. That's right, little sister, don't misunderstand me. He whispered, that was almost a disaster. You should thank me. So Hyun lowered his head, muttering a few words. Chang Dong cast him a sidelong glance and probed. But your sister must be liked by many people, right? He retorted. Her, probably not. He called his name again, So Hyun. What caught Chang Dong's eyes was Da Hyun's figure, which stirred up a vile thought. I want to get closer to you. In a moment they were already in the restroom, Chang Dong happily urinating, while So Hyun awkwardly stood guard. He flicked his hand, splashing some drops of water. I am disappointed in you, having a younger sister but not telling me. I thought we always shared everything in life. He bowed his head, making an excuse. Ah well, the relationship between us siblings isn't good. She also told me not to act like we know each other at school, so. Hearing that, Chang Dong bluntly suggested, really? Then introduce her to me. So Hyun was startled and exclaimed, what, introduce? He wiped his hands on his shirt while confirming, yes, your sister introduced her to me. So Hyun quickly stepped back, waving his hands, making an excuse. She's not interesting at all. Her studies are mediocre just like me. He refused to give up. I'm not good at studying either. Going to the library together is fine. He put one arm around him, the other pressing against his chest in a seemingly friendly manner. What are good friends for? Introduce her to me. So Hyun leaned back to avoid. No, it's just that girl is really boring. Chang Dong smiled with a sinister tone. Let me put it straight. He wondered. Say what? He looked at So Hyun with eyes like bullets, threatening. You talk like a leech. So Hyun froze, widened his eyes and exclaimed, what? Inwardly thinking? What did he just say? He moved his lips to respond. Now, what are you saying? Chang Dong was just as surprised when someone called his name. Choi Chang Dong. It turned out Guza was in a restroom stall. Barely had his shorts on when he dared to push the door open and scold. Your words were a bit too much. No sooner had he finished than he took a full punch to the face along with Chang Dong's curse. It startled everyone. So Hyun bowed his head as he heard the cutting words from him. You damn mung bean, you bastard potato. I told you not to make me jump because of your shitty face already. Chang Dong kept trampling on Guza, berating him. Please, be a student and have a student-like face for once. He held his head and took the beating while his shouts echoed everywhere. Your face looks like an 18-year-old. Hitting your face makes me feel guilty. And another thing, I told you not to talk so tragically. So Hyun suddenly called out, hey, making Chang Dong stop. He turned his head and looked, and So Hyun, summoning all his courage, cursed, you stone-faced bastard. Chang Dong suddenly asked, stone-faced, So Hyun, are you sane right now? He spoke in a low voice and repeated, I'm calling you out, you damn stone-faced bastard. He immediately stormed over to So Hyun to warn him, you're crazy. Chang Dong gritted his teeth, swung his fist and cursed, damn it. So Hyun instantly raised both arms and landed a punch that sent him flying backward. He glared at this thug, his whole body emitting a faint light. So Hyun recalled in bewilderment and exclaimed, this is a silver card. At that time he sighed in discouragement. What good is this to me? Anyway, I can't use it. So Hyun mumbled gloomily, there's no way it could be usable. Back in reality he mouthed, no. The silver card appeared, can use the jab move in boxing. The system announced, you are using a jab, so he gave Chang Dong another uppercut. So Hyun looked at his reddened nose and told himself, I can't go on living like this, I will change. He glanced at Guza while the system echoed in his ear. The mission had been activated, and he vowed quietly, I will fight. The mission was to defeat Choi Chang Dong. The reward 1 silver card, 1 bronze card. So Hyun bravely spoke up, you call me clingy like a leech, huh? He furrowed his brow, cocked his chin and declared, "I'll show you what being clingy like a leech means," and at the same time the system announced, "Mission start." So Hyan's eyebrows furrowed tightly when he heard Chang Dong's laughter in his ear. "Haha, this is really amazing." He raised his brows, picked his nose and scolded, "What kind of situation is this now?" Chang Dong looked at him, leaned back cautiously and mocked, "Oh, just like in a movie, huh?" He stepped forward, repeatedly questioning, "You watched too much YouTube and went crazy. You really intend to fight me?" Just as the words "really huh" came out of his mouth, Chang Dong immediately took a punch to the chest. The system announced, "You are using jab." His eyes bulged. His nose reddened as he wondered, "Damn it, what is going on here?" In Chang Dong's head were a bunch of questions. Did he secretly learn boxing? When did he start? Why would he even learn boxing? Without thinking more, he boiled with rage, swung his fist at So Hyan and shouted, "Damn it, how dare you punch me?" Before he could do anything, So Hyan gave him a clean punch straight to the middle of his face. So Hyan clenched his teeth, thrust his fist forward. The system voice echoed, "You are using jab." Right after that he didn't hesitate to keep punching straight into Chang Dong's face. The system echoed non-stop. These punches hurt him so much he couldn't react back in time. So Hyan shouted furiously, swinging his fists in a flurry like venting the anger he had bottled up all this time. Guza, witnessing this scene, couldn't help but exclaim in shock, how could this be?" After that the system announced, "Defeat Choi Chang Dong, reward 1 silver card, 1 bronze card." At this moment he was sitting on his body, exhaling when receiving the notification, "You have completed the mission," and he shouted out, "So Hyan actually defeated Choi Chang Dong." His breath grew heavier as he looked at the news. "Your jab proficiency has increased," which made So Hyan a bit surprised. "Huh." Guza observed his pale face and screamed in fear, "So Hyan, have you killed him?" So Hyan jolted and refuted me. "Wasn't he just knocked out?" He immediately grabbed So Hyan's wrist. "Now is not the time for that." He still didn't understand and just said "ha" once. Guza widened his eyes and urged, "Run, hurry and run." So Hyan complained in annoyance, "Geez, I told you to stop talking so dramatically already." Not long after, in a warehouse, a sighing breath echoed inside. He sat leaning against the wall and muttered, "For now we have managed to escape. Probably now." Guza, sitting beside hugging his knees, cut in, "Everything is only just beginning. The whole class is in chaos. No, it should be said the whole school. The reason they are so frightening is because they have a pack." At the same time, Chang Dong was pushing the door shouting, "Where the hell is that bastard Kim So Hyan?" He was holding his face lamenting, "How am I supposed to go to school now? Every break time I'll be dragged out and beaten again." Guza suddenly wondered, "But So Hyan, since when did you learn boxing?" So Hyan scratched his cheek awkwardly and answered that, "I only self-studied through YouTube." He was surprised but still praised, "Really, that's pretty impressive." He suddenly widened his eyes and thought, that reminds me, this is the first time such a notification appeared." So Hyan recalled the system notification and wondered, proficiency would increase. If I learn all these techniques, then what will happen? He muttered, "Oh right, I need to check the reward." Guza heard that and pushed up his glasses asking, "Reward? What reward?" So Hyan awkwardly replied, "I was just mumbling to myself. Nothing at all." 2 cards appeared, making him puzzled. "Others probably can't see this status board, so I should check it now." Then Guza curiously asked, "So Hyan, are you really lonely?" So Hyan teased, "I'm not kissing you." Then he returned to his work. "Let's see. The 2 mysterious cards made So Hyan astonished. "What is this?" he exclaimed in surprise. "Even this is possible." Suddenly 3 female students appeared, led by Ki Rin, who crossed her arms and said, "Hey, what are you 2 doing here?" Guza muttered nervously, "We're doomed, oh god." So Hyan reminded beside him, "I told you to stop talking so dramatically." But inside he thought, "This is bad. Ki Rin must have come here for me." She immediately stepped closer, glanced and asked, "What's the matter with you? Everyone is looking for you." He stammered, really, deep down worried. Aren't they just looking to catch me? So Hyan darted his eyes around, scratched his cheek and hesitantly added, the thing is, we were fighting. Ki-rin couldn't stand it anymore and scolded, hey, I can't watch that any longer, so you should leave school early. Not long after, the two of them stood in front of a group of male students. So Hyan lowered his head and muttered, leave school early, already caught just like that. A voice echoed in his ear, this one, it's him right. He was still anxiously thinking, what should I do now? Kim Soo raised his brows and questioned. He was beaten up by guys like these. So Hyan, upon hearing that, panicked, this is scary. Two others put their arms around Guza's shoulders and mocked, damn, can't believe it. He got beaten until he fainted by kids like these. He stuttered and spoke up, please stop it. At that moment, one of them punched Guza in the face and screamed, shut your mouth. Another looked at the group of male students and threatened, what are you looking at? Take your eyes off me, or get lost before I have to beat you. So Hyan closed his eyes and listened to those cruel words. And what about you? Do you want to fight me? The new monstrous transfer, who had already handled the third-year thugs, Go Ha-jun, he was the biggest boss at this high school. Suddenly Kim Soo turned his head and in a low voice said, he is here. So Hyan panicked, no way. Speak of the devil, the cold-faced person was Go Ha-jun. He really had arrived. Kim Soo quickly tattled, Ha-jun, there is something good. Choi Chang-dong in the restroom was. He laughed happily, beaten and then even fainted. Ha-jun showed no reaction, but an oppressive aura radiated from his face. Kim Soo then shrank back. I am sorry, he said coldly. Who is Choi Chang-dong? Chang-dong nearby pointed at himself and stammered, you mean me. Ha-jun stood in front of So Hyan and asked, did this guy beat you? He affirmed, yes, this guy dared to hit me. Ha-jun immediately ordered, this guy look up. He blankly followed. Ha-jun pointed at Chang-dong and asked again, did you really hit this kid? He fearfully looked elsewhere and hesitated. Ha-jun questioned like an interrogation. Why did you do that? He frowned and listened calmly. He touched my family first. The vile face and that damned line flashed in So Hyan's mind. Introduce your sister to me. Unable to hold back, he mustered courage and shouted. He had bad intentions toward my family. Ha-jun tilted his head as if unconvinced. Is that all? So Hyan stepped back a few paces when Ha-jun continued. My friend, if you are so good at fighting, he exclaimed surprised. Ha-jun leaned in close and challenged. Then fight me. He grabbed So Hyan's wrist to provoke. I heard you know boxing. Try and throw one punch. He stammered. That Chang-dong's group standing to the side found it amusing. Not that I know boxing, actually. The thing is, the two others surrounding Guza listened. Ha-jun cut in, not going to fight, his tone full of killing intent, or let me hit him. So Hyan pulled his hand back to his chest and swallowed nervously. How to do this? Do I really have to fight? He continued. It is okay. Ha-jun made a deal. If you land a hit on me, then we will let this go. So Hyan thought in pain. If I really hit him, what will happen then? In the end, 1T, I still be beaten. Ha-jun emphasized. I promise. He still hesitated. What should I do? Then So Hyan's eyes widened. Wait a minute. He thought of his rewards, the 2 cards he had received. So Hyan looked at them in front of Ha-jun and murmured, can I use them right now? The 2 cards include, the silver card is stamina recovery, and the bronze card is high note skill. So Hyan thought, the new cards that I received. The high note skill does not seem to fit this situation very well. Should I use the recovery card instead? If I use it, will my stamina be restored? But even if my stamina is restored, what difference would it make? Even if my stamina is restored. Ha-jun saw him standing still and remembered. I told you to punch in his heart. So Hyan assured himself, I still cannot win against him. What should I do now? If I punch, I will get beaten. If I do not punch, I will still get beaten badly. That is right. Either way, I will be beaten. Thinking that, So Hyan threw a few punches at first. But even if I get beaten after punching, it is still better. Just with the first move, he already opened his mouth in surprise. What is this? Ha-jun moved so fast that So Hyan could not see. He dodged it already. Without hesitating too long, So Hyun continued to throw many punches, but Ha-jun continuously dodged. Gradually he lost his will. His teeth clenched tightly. What should I do now? While So Hyun was stuck in that stream of thoughts, he was struck once and blown away. A long time later he slowly opened his eyes. So Hyun lay sprawled on the white floor, realizing, so I fainted. Right, Go Ha-jun dodged my jab, and I fainted from my very first punch. I understand now. I know what happened already. He must be angry because he told me to punch, and I really did punch. Now I am definitely dead with him. He will tear me apart and throw me to the stray dogs maybe. Seeing So Hyun holding his head getting up, Ha-jun asked curiously, "What are you doing?" He frankly answered, "Preparing to get beaten." He regretfully thought, "I cannot even choose death for myself." Ha-jun asked again, not understanding. "Why is that?" Ha-jun turned away with a calm face and ordered, "Go smoke." So Hyun let his guard down, lowering his hands, looking at him with blank eyes. Even when he stood firmly, his face was still the same. The surroundings were full of seniors and bosses in the school, but they did not do anything to him. "So what did you do?" "Of course I got that girl's phone number." He asked himself, what was happening? What on earth is going on? How did I end up here? The two thugs over there discussed. Try inviting him to drink, crazy guy. Suddenly someone handed So Hyun a cigarette and called, "What are you doing?" He suddenly seemed to realize something. "I understand now." Ha-jun pretended to be an angel luring So Hyun to follow the dark path, smoke. Unfortunately at this moment he was still sober enough. He must be planning to beat me here. Truly a cruel man. Even though he thought so, So Hyun still waved his hand pretending, "I do not smoke." He then withdrew his hand. Is that so? He convinced himself. He could not beat me, and he was exactly like the rumors said. This guy really is trash. Ha-jun took a long drag and questioned. "Name?" He answered honestly, "Kim So Hyun." Suddenly he said something So Hyun had not expected before. "Sorry about earlier. You punch better than I thought. I was just reacting instinctively." So Hyun was so surprised his face froze. He was apologizing to me. Not to mention he even praised him. "I have also been training in boxing for a long time. You seem to have a talent for that." So Hyun became increasingly bewildered. He even acknowledged me. That afternoon he returned to his own shelter. Go Ha-jun. After all, who is that guy? According to rumors he was a very frightening person, suddenly apologizing and even praising him. His voice was so affectionate. Maybe he is not like the rumors. Or maybe he did it on purpose to give me a life or death beating tomorrow. Madness. When So Hyun checked the system board it showed, "You have no mission," he muttered. I thought thanks to the missions I would become close to Go Ha-jun. But whoever set up this mission system, it is still in guide mode, so getting new cards is this easy. There must be a main mission yet to come. So far, the cards I received include the gold card, the silver card, and the bronze card. There will probably be other cards. If there were a card above gold, that would be so good. The abilities of the cards are also quite funny. All the cards I received are related to fighting, it seems. The next morning So Hyun grabbed his bag and went to school as usual. He sat stiffly down next to Guza. He adjusted his glasses and hinted about yesterday. Go Ha-jun is pretty quiet, eh? So Hyun agreed. Yes, I thought I would be smashed as soon as I stepped through the school gate. He was probably going to kill me when I was unprepared. Suddenly a familiar voice rang out. Kim So Hyun. He froze in fear. He had arrived. Chang Dong seemed to be looking for him. So you were in class. So Hyun whispered his name, Choi Chang Dong. Without a word So Hyun made a fuss. So, what are you going to do to me? Chang Dong justified. It is not like that. Do not think like that yet. Do we have to fight again? Suddenly his next sentence made him come to. Ha-jun wants to meet you after class. So I already passed the message. So Hyun reached out to call back, but it was too late. Wait a minute. It is over. Guza could only comfort him. What will happen has come. So Hyun in despair. He wants to meet me after class. Obviously he wants to torture my potato. What should I do now? Guza quietly advised him to go meet There is no other way. If you run away, tomorrow it will be even worse. That afternoon after school at a nearby karaoke, So Hyun walked while bracing himself. Today, just going there and taking the beating is the best plan. Suddenly someone called him, "Are you here?" Ha-jun sat among the city crowd and said, "Kim So-hyun." He trembled, so scary. He gestured with his face and demanded, "Sit down." So-hyun muttered and found a seat. You are overthinking again. Is this not a drinking den? Does he always hang out at places like this every day? All the famous kids in school are here. Is that guy planning to humiliate me here? Two girls in the corner whispered. Who is that? I do not know. So Hyun's face was tense like a string, not daring to make a sound. In the end, what trick are you trying to pull? How do I make it so I only get hit 12 times? Someone else called him. Hey, Kim So-hyun. Why are you here? Seeing Ki-rin, he politely greeted. Hello. She did not care and asked back. I am asking you, why are you here? So Hyun honestly answered. Ha-jun called me here, so he is also here. Seeing his face, they stirred up. That is the new guy. Since you are here, hurry up and sing a song. Ha-jun told you to sing. So Hyun was utterly flustered. Sing? But I cannot sing. This is crazy, they murmured, urging him to pick a song. So Hyun hesitated in fear. If I refused and broke the mood, what would happen? Fine, just go with it and deal later. He was using the high-pitched skill and trusted himself. I can do it. After a few minutes, the song ended and he turned off the mic. Ki-rin rubbed her chin and thought for a long time. Two friends beside her shared the same thought. Damn, unbelievable. Even someone cold like Ha-jun was surprised. Seeing them act a bit strange, So Hyun scratched his head. His face flushed. What is with everyone's expressions? No way, did I sing too well? Ki-rin spoke up, evaluating. I thought Annie was the one singing. The two girls giggled. So cute. Did you hear that soprano voice? It startled me. Others also commented. You managed to hit that song. Crazy guy. It sounded so strange. Is he a mosquito? But that mosquito voice smells of blood. Ha-jun, who is this guy? Your friend? Ha-jun's friend. This is the first time we have seen Ha-jun backing someone. So Hyun was so shocked he was dumbfounded. What is this? Ha-jun introduced. His name is Kim So-hyun. They urged strongly. So Hyun sang another song. He was still stunned after that incident. They will not beat me. They threw their arms around So Hyun, acting friendly, and invited. Hey, So Hyun, do you know any dance songs? Excitement welled up in him. Sure, they got more enthusiastic. You're really something. He still could not believe his eyes. Really? I get it. The rumors were false. He turned and called out loudly. Hey, Ha-jun. He crossed his legs on the chair casually. All right, have fun. So Hyun concluded. Ha-jun is a gentle guy. The next morning the sky was clear again. It was the first time. I'm home from school. This is the first time going to school that I felt so happy. The students in school began to turn their attention to So Hyun. They thought he was quite something, and heard he was Ha-jun's friend. He walked with a bright smile. Now my life will turn a new page, because Ha-jun has become my protector. Since the missions began, everything has become better. I no longer have to worry about being beaten. I will also ask him to look after Potato. While he was walking in happiness, the familiar voice rang out. What? You're just getting to school. So Hyun called him. Ha-jun, you just got here too, he suggested. Let's go to class together. Just then the system sounded. The main mission officially began. So Hyun asked himself 1,000 whys. The main mission. The tutorial mission must have ended. From now on the main missions will appear. So what will the rewards be? The system immediately answered his questions. When you complete the first main mission, you will obtain a platinum card. Hearing this word for the first time, he was somewhat surprised. A platinum card. Isn't that a card even better than the gold card? Then the mission must be very difficult, whatever it is. Ha-jun saw him dawdling and asked, What's up? So Hyun determined, I will accomplish it. This mission is to defeat the school boss Ha-jun. With 3 days remaining, he calls him, let's go. So Hyun turned pale and his lips trembled. Even though the rumors about Go Ha-jun are very vicious and bad, How can I defeat the school boss in 3 days? Meanwhile, his boxing technique had only just emerged for a few days, clearly an impossible mission. He tilted his head curiously. Anything you want to say? He was put in an awkward position. What should I do? The system added, during the main mission there will appear side missions. You will have the chance to receive more cards. The system reminded the remaining time was 71 minutes 59 seconds, which made So Hyun secretly surprised. There was even a time limit. If within 3 days I cannot defeat him, then the mission will be considered a failure. He could not hold it in and shouted out, blaming, there is no way I can defeat him. Not long after, So Hyun lifted a spoonful of rice to his mouth while absent-mindedly thinking, what should I do? He told himself, the mission had made me closer to Go Ha-jun. I thought I would have a normal school life like others. While he was still pondering, yet the mission forced me to fight him, a notorious boss of the school. Then Guza picked up some food and called, So Hyun. He looked at Ha-jun who was eating while looking at his phone and muttered, I cannot eat anymore. Guza raised his hand to cover his mouth and whispered, why is he eating with us? He lowered his head and muttered, because I said I liked it. Then thought, although the rumors about him are not good, in fact Go Ha-jun is a gentle and kind friend. So Hyun lamented, caring about me like that. Why do I have to fight him? Crazy. Just as Ha-jun picked up his tray of food and said, I will leave first, he responded with a hum. Suddenly, So Hyun's eyes widened as if realizing something. He patted Guza's shoulder and shouted, easy huh? He asked in confusion. What? You are saying I am easy? Then what do you think of me? So Hyun casually cursed, shut up for me, thinking, I will just not do it anymore. After that he walked while humming a few lines with the thought of giving up the mission. So Hyun smiled smugly. Anyway, I already have Ha-jun. My school life will no longer have worries. There is no reason for me to cause trouble with him. He thought of the system panel, his heart conflicted. The goal was just to have a normal school life. Why fight? The rewards will disappear, but I cannot push Ha-jun away. I will give up the mission here. So Hyun laughed happily and called out loud, Ha-jun, I am here, in his heart rejoicing, our love is forever. At that moment he was smashing one side of Chang Dong's face into the wall. His face swollen on one side, his voice trembling. I am sorry Ha-jun, he asked sternly. What? Chang Dong stammered, for that matter. He spoke softly, it was too much. As soon as the words ended Ha-jun slammed Chang Dong's face into the wall again. So Hyun witnessed that scene and froze, whispering, this? He teared up, mouth repeatedly admitting fault, making him think, what is this about? Ki-rin appeared from behind So Hyun and spoke, you think he is gentle? She leaned back against the wall and affirmed, he has always been that kind of person. Seeing that So Hyun was surprised, beat Ki-rin. She spoke non-stop. Do you know why he was beaten? Because he paid protection money short. So Hyun was shocked after hearing that and muttered, why, protection money? Ki-rin quickly revealed more. You didn't know. The money that students in our school have to pay. He stammered, I know, I also have to pay. Ki-rin closed her eyes, straightened up and exposed the truth. That money ultimately goes into Go Ha-jun's pocket. He orders the others to collect while he stands behind and takes it all. She stepped forward, put her hand on her forehead and warned, Go Ha-jun seems to like you, but you should know exactly what kind of person he is. I am leaving. So Hyun still stood there blankly. Huh. He swallowed, sweat dripping down, secretly glancing behind. What is this? At the same time Ha-jun with bloodstains on his body, one hand still pushing Chang Dong's head into the wall, turned around and said, So Hyun, you are here. He lowered his head in panic and said, I just got here. He continued, really? So Hyun hesitantly said, Ha-jun, I have a question. He mustered up courage and asked directly, why did you support me? He glanced and questioned, what? So Hyun tensed up listening, that is of course because. He walked over, put his arm around him and explained in a friendly tone, you are good at boxing. Ha-jun looked at the group of Chang Dong in front and criticized, Before you appeared there were only flies. Boring. So Hyan immediately realized he was just a pawn, so that was it. He smiled and asked, "Why do you ask that?" He softly replied, "I just asked." While thinking, Go Ha-jun, does he only like me because he mistakenly thinks I am good at fighting? So Hyan frowned and worried, if I give up the mission I will lose the jab skill. That moment will be when he no longer sees me as a person. Seeing him lost in thought, Ha-jun continuously shook him and asked, "What's wrong? Did something happen? If everything is fine then speak up." So Hyan forced a smile and denied, "No, it's just." He cried and said, "It's just that I want to cry." Then made his own decision, "In the end I still have to fight." Time passed quickly. Night had already fallen. So Hyan, in shorts and a tank top, was constantly practicing punches. The system notified, "You are using the jab skill," he thought. "First I will test my strength." Suddenly he froze, pressed his lips and told himself, "I cannot go back to the old days. I cannot just do nothing and give up." Not long after, So Hyan lay on the stone bench, arm on his forehead, sighing, "But how can I win?" He recalled when Ha-jun threw a punch and felt fear. At that time this jab could not defeat him. Can I win with just the jab? 2 cards recovery and high-pitched skill immediately appeared in So Hyan's mind. Wait, I still have other cards. He became more excited. If I use both skills I can defeat Go Ha-jun. Of course I can. Suddenly someone called, "Hey mister." So Hyan looked. Sang Call and his gang pretended to be shy and asked, "Are you a high school student?" He was surprised. "What is this?" So Hyan sat up and confirmed, "That's right." He bluntly demanded, "Ah, so that's how it is. We are short on some travel money. Can you lend us some?" You politely refused. "Travel money, huh? Sorry, but I also have no money." Sang Call gave a wry smile. "So that is how it is." Instantly the whole group surrounded So Hyan. He raised his eyebrows to remind, "You are really not perceptive at all." Sang Call frowned, bluntly said, "You are being robbed, you idiot." He jerked in shock and exclaimed, "Yes." So Hyan lowered his face, scratching his head and mumbling, "But the truth is I really have no money." He let out an "Oh, so that is how it is." Sang Call swung his fist up, "So you chose death." Before anything else he had already thrown his punch straight at his face. The system notified, "You are using the skill jab." So Hyan was also surprised by his own punch just now. He raised both hands, hurriedly apologizing. "Sorry, I also do not understand why it turned out like that." Sang Call trembled all over, raised his hand to his face and growled, "Ah, so you are that kind of provoking type." So Hyan then noticed the next information. Jab proficiency has increased. He widened his eyes and mouth in astonishment, wondering, "Proficiency, huh?" So Hyan stared at the silver card boxing jab with technique F and muttered, "When I trained there was no such notification at all. Could it be that only by hitting people proficiency increases, huh?" The system continued to appear. "Congratulations, your jab skill has risen to rank E." He was extremely surprised, looking down at his fist. So Hyan flared his nostrils. "Jab rank E, huh? Leveling up also means I have become stronger, right?" Suddenly a voice echoed by his ear. "So that is how it is." Sang Call clenched his hand and shouted, "I am fed up with you already." Yet before doing anything he had already taken another blow from So Hyan. He stared blankly at his own movement. Completely different. I have already changed compared to before. So Hyan looked into the pale eyes of Sang Call and secretly affirmed, not only faster but also stronger. He clenched his fist tightly, making it shine with a radiant energy. So Hyan once more launched a hook, making him be knocked back with the thought, "If at this level I might even be able to defeat Go Ha-jun." Sang Call staggered back, fell to his knees holding his face and shouted, "What are you all still standing there for?" The other punks started warming up their arms and legs. He wondered, "The rest of them, what should I do?" The system is notified, and the side quest has opened. While Dongjin tilted his head and sneered, making So Hyan surprised. "Huh." The information came. Defeat the gang of thugs. Reward 1 silver card. There is also 1 hidden condition. He muttered in surprise. This is a side quest, huh? There is even a hidden condition too. The system reminded, you can abandon the hidden quest. So Hyun moved his lips, abandon huh? Then of course I will. At that moment the whole gang rushed straight to him. So Hyun tugged the two straps of his tank top wondering, why should I abandon it? He raised his fists and shouted, damn you all, inside affirming, no way. The system reported, side quest has begun. So Hyun gathered all his courage to challenge. I am really scared of you huh? Secretly pleased, I have the card anyway. The system said. So Hyun thought to himself that he could do it. He could defeat all these thugs. The leader asked, you know boxing huh? There were a total of 5 of them, so Hyun had to defeat these 5. While the leader was already rushing in, so Hyun was still drowning in his thoughts. Damn it, how the hell can I win against 5 of them? Each of them landing one punch would already break me. Against these 5 thugs, so Hyun still did not know what to do. He only had this jab. He quickly attacked the leader first. The leader fell to the ground. His friends shouted, hey Sang-Kal. So Hyun froze as he heard Sang-Kal's friends shouting frantically, hey Sang-Kal, what happened to you, Sang-Kal? He had been knocked out by So Hyun. His friends rushed over calling. Sang-Kal woke up. Open your eyes. You are just messing with us, right? Stop acting, Sang-Kal. So Hyun had no idea what the hell was going on. The system also notified that So Hyun had defeated one of the 5. The thugs still cried out with all their might, are you going to leave us like this, Sang-Kal? Then what about our dream? Have you already forgotten our promise? Huh. So Hyun stood there in fear, having killed Sang-Kal. So Hyun felt relieved when Sang-Kal suddenly shouted, you crazy bastards, shut up. I just got knocked out because I was hit on the chin. One of them pointed at So Hyun's face and said, grab that brat now. So Hyun let out a sigh of relief, so he only fainted. I must get my fighting spirit back quickly. Even though So Hyun had defeated one, there were still 4 left. Sang-Kal's underlings tried to intimidate him. You are dead meat. Do you know how respectful Sang-Kal is to his elders huh? The remaining 4 immediately chased So Hyun, got him, avenged Sang-Kal. So Hyun while running still argued with them. Sang-Kal is not even dead, so what revenge? Right now I just need to run. Of all strategies, running is still the best. Ignoring their shouting behind him, So Hyun ran desperately, reminding himself not to look back. The moment I turn back and stop will be the moment I must face them. At this moment an idea flashed in his mind. The place where I can fight one-on-one can only be. They had already caught up to him. This crazy bastard, haha, look at him, hey. So Hyun panted while listening to their threats. You think running here will solve anything? They saw him gasping for air and mocked. But only So Hyun still thought, if it is here I can fight them one by one, but my stamina now. They said to each other, but it looks like your stamina is 0 now, and it seems you only know jab. Ignoring their ridicule, a bean had already appeared in So Hyun's hand. So Hyun quickly used the recovery bean. They still chattered, damn, it got out of my way. Why bother with a guy already exhausted? At this moment his stamina had recovered. A blonde-haired thug stepped forward first. This one is for Sang-Kal. So Hyun immediately used a jab to punch him right on the jaw. Not stopping there, when he had not yet calmed down, So Hyun continued. He kept using jab to attack him. The remaining 3 opened their mouths wide. Damn it, is he a monster? I thought he was already about to collapse. At this time So Hyun's stamina had fully recovered. He could clearly feel that now he could freely use jab to attack however he wanted. After defeating the second one, he thought at this level he might even be able to defeat Go Ha-jun. The others were terrified. Dong-jin is down too. Oh, our hope. Sang-Kal is waiting for us. So Hyun used the high-pitched skill to shout. I did not take out Sang-Kal. The third one was quickly struck on the chin by So Hyun. The fourth one was not much better. The last one also collapsed on the spot with a single blow. After defeating the remaining 4, So Hyun was completely out of breath. It was over. At that moment the notification board appeared. A hidden condition. The board said that So Hyun had not been hit once by the opponents and had achieved victory. It also congratulated him and said he had received a gold card for completing the hidden mission it mentioned. So Hyun was surprised. I was scared of being beaten to death, so I just ran like crazy. Turns out that was the hidden condition of the mission. Thanks to that, the reward was upgraded. So Hyun looked at the gold card in front of him in astonishment. Feeling that he was too lucky, the card in front of So Hyun quickly opened. He shouted in joy, "Open the card." The card was quickly unlocked. He waited eagerly. He looked at the contents inside and was stunned. So Hyun stared at it with confusion. What does this mean? After a long night, he returned to an ordinary day of going to school. The mission to defeat Ha-jun had only 8 hours left. So Hyun scratched his head in frustration. Already 3 days had passed. He was worried, only 8 hours left. Within these 8 hours, I must defeat Go Ha-jun. So Hyun summed up the cards he had. The cards he had were Jab Rank E, High Pitch Skill, Recovery Bean, and the card he had just obtained, making a total of 4. So Hyun worried whether he could win with just these. After all, Ha-jun was the undefeated one. No, so Hyun thought firmly that he must win. He recalled the days when he was bullied. If he lost, he would have to return to those terrible days. Potato spoke up. "Shall I kiss you? Can you stop that?" Potato asked So Hyun. "Your face does not look good. What is wrong?" Seeing his friend's face made him more determined. "I must protect the potato too." So Hyun smiled and said, "No, it is because of Go Ha-jun. Outwardly he smiled, but inwardly So Hyun thought. Looking back, Potato always helped and took the beatings for me. He treated So Hyun very well and was truly his only real friend. Potato was puzzled when he mentioned him. When asked, he only replied nothing. So Hyun also thought that he had not even once said thank you to Potato. He should take this chance to say it. At that moment, So Hyun spoke. "Potato, huh?" So Hyun smiled brightly and said, "Thank you for all this time." Then he cursed. "Damn it. It feels like I'm making a last will before dying." Potato adjusted his glasses. "What the hell are you talking about?" At that moment, another voice called So Hyun's name. He thought to himself, finally Cao Cao has arrived. Ha-jun stood at the classroom door and called inside. "What are you doing?" He did not say many words, only a few like an order, and went down to the cafeteria. So Hyun saw the enemy coming to the door, but still did not know how to fight. Should he just bluntly say, "Let's mess around a bit, it's fine"? Out loud, So Hyun agreed to go along, but inside, "I must be too scared to say a word. Haha. For now, just follow him to the cafeteria. Hee." The two people walking behind Ha-jun were chatting and laughing happily. The boy held an ice cream stick in his hand, because he kept laughing and talking until he accidentally bumped into Ha-jun walking in front. He hurriedly apologized. "Are you okay?" As soon as he heard the noise, Ha-jun turned around and the boy was shocked to realize who he had just bumped into. A loud noise immediately rang out, surprising even So Hyun. Ki-rin, who was combing her hair, also paused a little. Potato, sitting in the classroom, also heard the loud sound outside. The student holding the ice cream stick was immediately grabbed by the neck by Ha-jun. "Yeah, it's me." So Hyun watched the person in front interrogating the student. "Did you just come back from the cafeteria?" So Hyun immediately said something that made Ha-jun drop his jaw in disbelief. "Damn you." Hearing that, Ha-jun let go of the student because he was too shocked. So Hyun even thought to himself that he had to beat this guy. So Hyun opened his mouth wider. "Go Ha-jun, damn you." He thought to himself, "This time I will definitely win and get the card." At that moment, Ha-jun slowly spoke. "Kim So Hyun." His face had already changed, his voice deep as he asked, "Did you just say that to me?" So Hyun believed he could do it, so he said it again. "That's right, damn you." So Hyun even added, "You damned bug trash." He did not only believe in himself, but also in the miraculous technique within the golden card he had just received this time. After challenging Ha-jun's limits, So Hyun thought to himself, "All right, just like when I practiced." Right when Ha-jun raised his hand, "Kim So Hyun, you thought it was time to fight." But unexpectedly he just patted So Hyun's head. "You are pretty righteous, huh?" So Hyun was surprised, not knowing what he meant. Ha-jun calmly smiled and said, "You got mad because I bumped into your classmate, huh? Friends don't need to punch and fight, cool down." So Hyun stammered, "No, but," he himself didn't know what the hell was happening. Something just felt strange. Ha-jun casually put his arm around So Hyun's shoulder and went with him to the cafeteria. Then the P class took place as usual. The gossip broke out. "Did you hear about this? What is it?" A female student said that earlier there was almost a fight. Who fought who? Her friend said, "Someone almost got beaten up by Go Ha-jun." The other was surprised. "Really? But who?" The girl immediately said the name of So Hyun. Meanwhile, he sat there blankly lost in thought. He was dejected because he didn't know what to do. Ha-jun had no intention of fighting and even apologized to him. The gossip didn't affect his thoughts. What should I do now? It seems he really considers me a friend already, even though the rumors about him are really bad. So Hyun lowered his head, unable to deny the fact that Go Ha-jun liking him was actually true. The time for him to complete the mission was running out. Only 2 hours left. If it kept going like this, So Hyun wouldn't be able to do anything. Potato saw his friend gloomy, so he asked. So Hyun honestly said it was because of Ha-jun. Potato asked if Ha-jun bothered him. So Hyun instinctively answered, "Just a little, I see." So Hyun didn't understand what Potato meant by that. Hey, Ki-rin came over and said the whole school is buzzing with rumors. Ki-rin also said, "What were you thinking about picking a fight? Do you really want to fight Go Ha-jun?" So Hyun only answered that he didn't know either. Ki-rin sat down and said, "You are really funny. Are you itching for a beating or what?" Hearing that he replied, "It's not like that." Then what else? Haha. At that moment So Hyun said, "But beat Ki-rin, huh?" So Hyun curiously, he then voiced all his thoughts. "You helped me when Choi Chang-dong beat me and also told me about the true nature of Go Ha-jun. All those things also count as you helped me, right?" So Hyun continued, thinking about it. "You must get along with those friends to hang out together. They must be kind too." Ki-rin didn't react. Seeing that, So Hyun asked again, "So that's why you hang out with them, right?" Ki-rin calmly said, "Are you expecting a special answer?" So Hyun hesitated. Well. He had just turned his face when she suddenly spoke. "Hey." Her face is serious. "Don't cross the line. You've gotten too free lately just because we've talked more." So Hyun didn't press. "Sorry, I thought we had become friends already." Ki-rin stood up, dusted herself off, and indifferently said, "Don't force kinship with people just because you admire them." Suddenly, a loud voice called from afar, "Kim So Hyun, big trouble." A student ran over in a panic. "Now is not the time for you to sit here leisurely. What happened?" That student's face showed clear fear. After hearing the story, So Hyun was shocked as if he couldn't believe his own ears anymore. He froze on the spot, only stammering 2 words, "What?" At the backyard of the school, the place where those delinquents gathered, they looked at someone with contempt and said, "Damn it, this is really ridiculous. Did I mishear that, guys? Try saying it again." Potato in his P uniform firmly said, "I told you to call Go Ha-jun out here." The leader slapped his face and said, "Call Go Ha-jun out. You call and he has to come." The underlings also clamored, "But it seems I've seen this guy somewhere before." That's right, he looks familiar. They quickly realized he was the one who hung around with So Hyun. Then they laughed mockingly. "Since Ha-jun and So Hyun are close, then you and Ha-jun also became friends, huh?" The leader didn't say much and immediately wanted to attack Potato. "First take a punch in that old wrinkly face of yours." Before the blow could land, Ha-jun arrived. He ordered them to move aside. He walked up asking as he went, "You looking for me?" Ha-jun stood tall in front of him, calmly asking why he was looking for him. "Why are you looking for me?" Potato clenched his fists and said, "You." With a serious voice he spoke up. Ha-jun didn't bully So Hyun anymore. Ha-jun didn't understand what he was saying. "I said don't bully So Hyun anymore. You keep manhandling and dragging So Hyun around. That is bullying." Right after saying that, he immediately received a blow from Ha-jun. The underlings watching. Without letting him answer, he used his hand to block the view. "And besides, I really hate people like you." Ha-jun continued to physically attack him, hitting him while criticizing that he did not look like a human being. He hit him until his face was full of blood. There is a hierarchy in this world, and you are outside the permitted range. He continued, I bother So-hyun. Huh, you are the annoying one. Ha-jun said that although he hangs out with So-hyun, the two are not of the same rank. Is that so? Potato stood up and calmly replied, if you use that as a reason to call So-hyun a friend, then perhaps So-hyun will not consider you a friend. No sooner had he finished than So-hyun ran over from somewhere and punched Ha-jun in the face once, causing the underlings behind to be surprised and their faces distorted. He still stood after that punch. So-hyun. On looking back, Ha-jun was surprised that the one who hit him was So-hyun. So-hyun said, Potato, if it were not for you, then I'm going to school. Potato looked at the person taking a fighting stance in front of him. So-hyun calmly said, it would really be exhausting. At that moment someone frantically reported, hey damn, there is a fight guys. The scene became chaotic. What? Who with who? Where is the fight? Behind the school. So the news that So-hyun and Ha-jun were about to fight spread, causing many people to gather in the backyard to watch. People kept gossiping. What fight? Kim So-hyun fighting? How could that be? Is he not just signing his own death warrant? Potato stood to the side watching the chaotic scene. As the chatter kept rising, Kim So-hyun is crazy. He even dared to challenge Go Ha-jun. Ki-rin was also among the crowd, and her face showed worry. There was noise everywhere. Should we report this to someone? At this rate Kim So-hyun will die. You go report it. How could you report it? At that moment Ha-jun said, Kim So-hyun, do you really want to fight me? He also said he thought he and So-hyun were friends. Friends, huh? So-hyun immediately spoke. Let me make it clear to you, at this school, my only friend. The reward cards are prepared for this battle. So-hyun said decisively, it is only Potato. Understand, you stone-faced bastard. The content of this card made him more confident. Go Ha-jun, I can beat you in 5 seconds. At that moment the system board appeared, and the mission began. The crowd stirred again when they heard So-hyun say that. Did you hear what he said? Within 5 seconds he could win against Go Ha-jun. His mind must have a problem. They mocked So-hyun, calling him a lunatic, and said today would be his death anniversary. But they also heard he knew a little boxing. Holy shit, really? With such a difference in strength, they all affirmed that So-hyun could not do anything against Go Ha-jun. But So-hyun was confident. He believed in himself that he could do it. After his skill rose to rank E, he fought with more strategy. First, he would use the jab skill. The punch even made the potato freeze for a moment. Even Ki-rin was quite nervous and worried. At this moment Ha-jun spoke, Kim So-hyun. He reminded him that when he had just thrown a punch, 5 seconds had already passed. The shocking and chaotic scene made everyone exclaim in astonishment. So-hyun kept punching continuously like a real boxing match. Everyone witnessing had to turn their heads. Kim So-hyun, what is wrong with him? No one expected he was this good at boxing. Despite So-hyun's punches, Ha-jun still stood there, and Go Ha-jun just stood still doing nothing. What the hell was going on? Like this, So-hyun ignored all the chatter and kept advancing more fiercely. One attacked, while the other only dodged. At this rate, would So-hyun win? A student said, holy shit, if Go Ha-jun loses, what should we do? Shut your damn mouth. Chang Dong questioned, but is this not a bit strange? Huh, strange how? Chang Dong judged that So-hyun fought him the same way. At this moment Ha-jun finally counterattacked, and So-hyun immediately took a hit from him. Even as he panted on the ground, Ha-jun still mocked him. Kim So-hyun, so you only know this one move. So-hyun did not seem to give up and kept muttering, 5 seconds, 5 seconds. He stubbornly stood up again, and as long as 5 seconds, I could win. Ha-jun kept attacking, speechless. He looked at him calmly, really? You think you can beat me with just a jab? At this point So-hyun was lying on the ground full of wounds. He wondered whether he could defeat Ha-jun. Before the battle he had already thought, with just one jab, Could I defeat Go Ha-jun? So Hyan knew that although his jab was much stronger than before, this technique could never take down Go Ha-jun. He had no choice but to use the card he had received from the mission. It was the surpassing limit card, lasting for 5 seconds. If he used this card together with grappling or jiu-jitsu, it would be perfect. But So Hyun thought if he wanted to use it. The surpassing limit had a duration of 5 seconds, and So Hyun was still worried whether within those 5 seconds he could defeat Go Ha-jun. But he had no other choice, so Hyun could only rely on it, and he continued rushing toward Ha-jun. No matter how So Hyun attacked, Ha-jun still countered as usual. What the hell are you doing? Everyone realized So Hyun's intent. That guy, he was just about to use a takedown. Go Ha-jun is a boxer, and he is nothing. Seeing So Hyun had grown tired, they continued to gossip. The gap in rank is too great. Exploiting a takedown in this situation is impossible. He ignored their chatter. It was still not the time to use the surpassing limit card, but So Hyun was determined to stick to his plan. So Hyun decided he had to make him more careless. At this point he used the high note skill to attack, but he was still easily knocked down by Ha-jun. Are you crazy? So Hyun's determined attitude even made Ha-jun briefly stunned. He told himself he must not use it yet, so he stood up again and attacked toward him. So Hyun wanted to attack until Ha-jun grew sick of it. Ha-jun, as always, punched So Hyun once. While punching he said, "Will you stop or what?" How could he stop when So Hyun wanted to catch him off guard? At this moment So Hyun had grabbed a corner of Ha-jun's shirt. He thought he might get a chance, so he kept mumbling. 5 seconds, then So Hyun's arm wrapped around Ha-jun's body. At that time he used the recovery beam, and he felt the opportunity had come. Then Ha-jun uttered one word, Mung Bean. People around began to panic. Ha-jun cursed. You guys ran. Hurry up. I knew this would happen. What kind of damned fight is this? Ha-jun truly became enraged. He grabbed. When Ha-jun touched him, he was surprised. Ha-jun froze for a moment. What the hell is this? Ha-jun used force but could not move him. So Hyun did not budge and stood still like a statue. So Hyun had recovered his stamina. His eyes were extremely determined. Surpassing the limit, the card he had received back then with the power to surpass the limit was, for 5 seconds the body weight increases by 100 kg. So Hyun had used the surpassing limit card and his current weight had changed. At this moment, after gaining 100 kilograms, he had reached a weight of 156 kilograms. The system also began to count down. People around opened their mouths wide. Witnessing this shocking scene, everyone could not help but be astonished. With the strength of 156 kilograms, So Hyun quickly lifted Ha-jun up. He told himself he would show him what the strength of 156 kg is. Then Ha-jun's whole body was thrown to the ground after So Hyun's takedown. Ha-jun, with a face of disbelief, was pinned underneath, defeated by So Hyun. At this moment So Hyun took off his outer shirt, crossed the straps together, and then, as soon as he thought of it, he gave a punch to Ha-jun's jaw, a punch like a strike from the sky. One punch of 156 kg. The punch was so heavy that blood syrup flowed from his nose. Even he could not believe his own eyes that he could be thrown down by So Hyun. Without wasting time, So Hyun punched his face continuously. After the card's time limit ended, Ha-jun was lying on the ground, unable to even move his hands. He only stammered a few words. Kim So Hyun. Kim So Hyun, exhausted, also lay beside him. Ha-jun admitted he had lost. Finally, after 3 days, So Hyun's mission was complete. The classic scene was burned into the eyes of the gossiping crowd. Everyone was stunned. Ki-rin was no exception. Her eyes revealed obvious surprise. Potato, needless to say, was also shocked by this result. After completing the mission, So Hyun received the reward of a platinum card. He shouted after receiving the system notification, "Bring the reward here for me right now." It was still a familiar scene, sunlight shining on the school building. In the classroom, dozens of murmurs echoed non-stop. A student noticed the corner of the class. What? Ha-jun's desk was completely empty. Go Ha-jun didn't come to school today. Two students mocked. If it were you, you would come. He lost face in front of the whole school, hoping he wouldn't come back. Without him, everyone can finally breathe easier. They still couldn't believe Ha-jun had been defeated like that, and even by So-hyun. At that moment, a student loudly warned, Hey, shut your mouths, he just walked past. What, who? So-hyun had risen to the position of the school's boss. He confidently walked past the classroom corridors. Whispers constantly spread around. That's Kim So-hyun, right? The one who fought with Go Ha-jun. So-hyun himself didn't even know why he was suddenly the school's boss. He clenched his teeth and walked past all the murmurs. Sitting in the bathroom, So-hyun couldn't stop sighing. Finally, he had the platinum card. He had defeated Ha-jun to own this card. A card that had been so hard to obtain. Surely this platinum card would take him to an even higher level than the golden card. He opened it to see what was special. A strange light spread around. The platinum card revealed its content, the ability to steal from a target. So-hyun was shocked. What is this? Isn't this supposed to be an attack card? I thought it would be some kind of move even stronger than jab. Looking at it, he felt more and more dissatisfied. This is supposed to be a good card. What is this stealing business? So-hyun didn't even know what kind of card this really was. Potato asked, What are you mumbling inside there? Oh, nothing. After coming out, Potato reminded him to get back to class, not forgetting to ask, Are you mentally ready? I'm fine. After So-hyun replied, Potato didn't ask anymore. Let's go then. After a few steps, Potato's face paled. So-hyun, He felt pressured by the gazes around, while So-hyun could only apologize at that moment. Whispers spread, That's Kim So-hyun, oh my god. That's Kim So-hyun, right? The one who defeated Go Ha-jun. Even So-hyun felt dizzy as the rumor spread this far. The whispers grew louder. He looked gentle, but that's his trick, showing that face to make others drop their guard and then attacking suddenly, really cunning. Hearing this, So-hyun thought even if he jumped into the Yellow River, he couldn't wash away this injustice. More unjust than Vu Nuong. At that moment, the whispers shifted toward Ha-jun. They say Go Ha-jun is still under special treatment. Really? So that's why he can't come to school. But So-hyun didn't think so. He was still... The rumors spun out of control and twisted into falsehoods. They say he even beat up Go Ha-jun's father. Unbelievable. How could he involve the family? Some even spread that his MBTI test showed antisocial personality disorder. So-hyun wondered why people made up such ridiculous lies. Words passed from one to another, and that guy walking next to him looks scary too. Is he a student? Looks like he's 48 years old. They say everyone calls him Potato. So-hyun was very displeased that they even gossiped about Potato. They say he's Kim So-hyun's right hand. Some even said he fought with Go Ha-jun for 3 days and 3 nights before deciding the winner. Truly, a tongue has no bones and bends in many ways. These distorted rumors no longer kept their original form. So-hyun thought to himself, I have to explain everything, right now. Just then So-hyun bumped into someone in front of him. He apologized, but the person greeted him, Senpai. So-hyun looked at the tall figure in surprise. He asked, Excuse me, are you Kim So-hyun, the one who defeated Go Ha-jun? I am Kim So-hyun, So-hyun stammered. But did I do something wrong? He respectfully greeted and then introduced himself loudly. I am the first-year boss Lee Hyun-dong. I respectfully greet you, sir. His underlings also respectfully greet following him. We respectfully greet you, sir. So-hyun was confused. What are you guys doing? First years, so what? Why do you have to do this? He calmly said this is something that must naturally be done. He also declared loudly, You are the new boss of our Kangbok school. As juniors like us, of course we must come to greet you. So-hyun quickly replied, Who is the boss of you guys? So-hyun was extremely embarrassed and kept saying, Everyone is watching. The greeting is not like this at all. Hyun-dong thought So-hyun wanted him to kneel. This made So-hyun even more embarrassed. He quickly explained, It seems you are misunderstanding. I am not any boss. I just want to have a normal school life. So that means, Hyundong then thought he wanted to abandon them. Abandon what abandon? Never in the same group, so how to abandon? I understand, sir. I have troubled you. Then they left with extremely sad faces, despite So Hyun shouting, "Go! I have no intention of siding with you guys." Who are these kids anyway? He is the first-year boss Lee Hyundong. At this moment Potato spoke up. Originally, he followed Go Ha-jun. It seems he was influenced a lot by Go Ha-jun. According to him, Hyundong followed Ha-jun with a purpose. But because Ha-jun was defeated by So Hyun, to achieve his purpose, of course, he would look for the new boss. And it is said that he is even the younger brother of Lee Hyun-do of Yuan School. So Hyun wondered about Hyundong's purpose. Potato said that his purpose is to unify Kangbok, the school where So Hyun is studying. Currently, Kangbok is divided into 4 big schools including East, West, South and North Kangbok. Go Ha-jun does not care about unification, but Lee Hyundong is different. So Hyun was stunned when he heard directly from Potato that he wanted him together with him to unify Kangbok. So Hyun wondered why must unify, also telling himself to be careful not to be lured by them. The school without Go Ha-jun was very peaceful, so Hyun also felt now he would have a peaceful life as he wished. At this moment the system again announced a new mission, making So Hyun slightly surprised. After cursing the crazy bunch just now, the system then gave out the mission that he must dominate Kangbok High School and recruit Hyundong. So Hyun did not hesitate and said to abandon the mission. At this moment, the system again gave out a notice board that if the main mission is abandoned, there will be no more missions. Moreover, all previous missions will also be removed. So Hyun hesitated again. If he gave up or failed the mission, then all the rewards would disappear. For the time being, he would be fine, but at some point, if he was discovered, then would the days before return to how they used to be or not? That was what he was troubled about. Thinking about it, he called those people over. Senior. He told him that he was only testing them, which immediately made him excited again. He firmly declared, "From now on I will take over Kangbok West School," although he said that on the outside, but in his heart he had already cursed long ago. When they heard that, they shouted with joy, "Let's unite Kangbok together," he said while tears overflowed. Seeing them happy made his mood happy too. But he realized he had never said anything about uniting something. So Hyun sat in the classroom, hugging himself tightly, feeling cold. He curled up. So Hyun felt truly too cold. Countless thoughts appeared in his head. Later they probably would not cling to him anymore, right? There would not be fights and quarrels happening again, right? No, he did not need to make any plans or intentions because missions would just appear again anyway. After thinking it over, that was the conclusion, but still So Hyun hesitated about something. He looked at the platinum card in front of him. He had never used this card even once. He thought again maybe only on an occasion could it be used. He had already struggled for a whole day with the freshmen. He rested his chin gloomily and thought, "Today I must use this card." Yet the whole day today I was in no mood to do anything. Suddenly at this moment there was a voice calling him. "Hey." Ki-rin sat on the desk and softly asked, "What are you doing?" She came to start a conversation. "The whole school is buzzing with rumors already, saying that you have taken over all of Kangbok West." "Ah, that matter." So Hyun awkwardly said that was not true, but Ki-rin continued, "I heard that you even intend to unify Kangbok too." "No, that matter." Before he could finish, she interrupted, "It really is funny." So Hyun was stunned when he heard her say the 2 funny words. She scornfully said, "What are you?" and directly questioned him, "Why did you do that?" So Hyun said nothing. She pressed on, "What is wrong with your eyes? Are you crazy?" "Thief." The moment he uttered the 2 words thief, it surprised her. At this time So Hyun was using the thief card. She shouted, "What the hell are you doing now?" So Hyun was using the thief skill on Ki-rin. A criteria board for Ki-rin appeared showing tiered ratings such as Strength rank E, Intellect rank B, Potential rank C, Speed and Endurance at rank D. At this moment So Hyun realized this was the card that allowed him to see an opponent's abilities, and while daydreaming Ki-rin called him, but So Hyun was still lost in his own thoughts. Compared to what he expected, it was a bit. Anyway, it's okay. But no matter what he thought, he still felt that Ki-rin's stats were really low, despite Ki-rin screaming, "What are you doing? Have you pulled some stunt?" So Hyun kept thinking, nonsense. I thought Ki-rin was good at fighting. He wondered whether he himself could use this. He spoke up, "Thief." Immediately his ability board appeared. Overall, it was not much better. Seeing that he did not answer, Ki-rin decided to use the right-hand rule. "Damn it, you little bitch." Only then did So Hyun absorb that with those stats he could still lose. Despite being hit, he remained immersed in his own thoughts. He could understand other things, but what is this potential? Maybe it's potential for fighting. The name of this skill is Thief, so he had no expectations for it at all. He held his slapped cheek and pondered, but it seemed this card was better than he thought. So Hyun was still bewildered when a voice rang out, "Get out, all of you, move to the sides for me." The freshman kept intimidating. "Whoever dares approach our boss will be treated as an assassin and killed without mercy. The boss of Kangbok West School is here. Dare to call us lazy good-for-nothings." So Hyun had a headache with them because they kept nagging. "Please, just stand like that." Whispering chatter, "Did you hear? They say he once ripped out someone's entrails, even beat the homeroom teacher." So Hyun was looked at with strange eyes. He had never ripped out anyone's entrails, yet now he was being maliciously gossiped about. Hyun Dong raised his index finger excitedly and said, "Look, boss, everyone is happily welcoming you. Indeed, the boss of our Kangbok West School." So Hyun shouted back, "Who's happy? Everyone is treating me like trash." He whispered to him, "What the hell are you guys playing at? If you have something to say, then say it and get lost." He realized he had not been perceptive. He produced a grubby envelope, "Here you go," and said it was this month's protection money for him, which made So Hyun jump. He was awkward. Why are these crazy guys giving me money? Why is there even syrup on the envelope? He even suspected it was the freshman's syrup. Then he shouted at them to put it away. He did not need this money. Potato casually accepted it, which made So Hyun shout even louder, "Hey, why are you taking that money? Give it back quickly. We cannot accept this kind of money." Hyun Dong then assumed So Hyun refused because the amount was too small. The boss really is different. He must want to increase the protection money. Ignoring his words, his twisted thinking made So Hyun fuming. "I never said that." He did not know what was wrong with this guy, acting like he had lost his mind. So Hyun spoke up to drive him away. "Please get lost. I am ordering you." Then he used the thief skill to steal a look at the guy's abilities. Seeing his ability board even surprised So Hyun. At this moment Hyun Dong suddenly felt embarrassed. So Hyun also had to admire his attitude. With skills like that he was truly a proper thug. Saying nothing more, So Hyun retreated, ignoring him calling from behind, "Senior, where are you going?" While walking he thought, "I cannot fight this guy. If anything happens to him, I will just be more exhausted." Seeing he did not turn back, he shouted loudly, "We still have to hold the boss inauguration ceremony, sir." At this moment, So Hyun was surprised and turned back. The inauguration ceremony? Right after he asked why he had to go there, the system displayed a notification that the main mission had opened. The main mission this time was that So Hyun had to be inaugurated as the boss of the school. So Hyun could only sigh, "Right, I have to do the inauguration ceremony." Tears silently fell. Though unwilling, he still responded to them. "I am the boss, indeed our boss, boss of Kangbok West School. Everyone moves aside." At the inauguration ceremony, the subordinates stood fully on this side, then lined up neatly on the other side. So Hyun stood in the middle with the shouted words unifying. After the word Kangbok was shouted in unison, the subordinates on both sides bowed deeply in salute. So Hyun was not particularly enthusiastic about this ceremony. He immediately stood up. "No need for these tricks. The inauguration is over, right?" Guza sitting nearby said for him to relax. Seeing him begin to stand, Hyun Dong called back, saying he had to hear the plan summary first. So Hyun agreed, Tell me quickly then," though in his mind he thought these guys are all crazy. When did they prepare all this? According to him, Kangbok now was no different from a battlefield, so Hyan responded indifferently. How should I know about that? Yes, sir. Hyan Dong began explaining. The reason Kangbok forces are fighting each other is that the person who once unified Kangbok gave up rulership. Without a ruler, war broke out. First, there was the boss of East Kangbok. According to him, they were the most terrifying. Their boss had a personality disorder with antisocial tendencies. There were even rumors that they were involved in human trafficking. Next was about South Kangbok. Unlike the East group, these could be considered model students, appearing gentle and decent, but given their shady business dealings, So Hyan still needed to be cautious. Then Hyan Dong added that to control those people he hoped So Hyan would. At this moment So Hyan interrupted. Hey! He scratched himself and said, you guys can't control them. And no, why should we even unify Kangbok? If they come here, we just call the police. Guza didn't care. He made the subordinates fetch water. They scrambled, quickly bringing water to the senior. Ignoring Potato's relaxation, So Hyan continued, can't we maintain a peaceful coexistence? Isn't doing this crazy? Hyan Dong replied that it was very difficult. Those guys were already wary, and he even answered So Hyan's question, what else? Because the unification rumor had spread everywhere. It was about Kim So Hyan running with a crisscross tank top killing enemies. So Hyan was shocked and shouted, damn, why is that spreading? What else? Hyan Dong confessed, we were the ones who spread the rumor, which made So Hyan furious. Hey, you crazy, you really are insane. So Hyan sulked, I don't know, I didn't fight anyone. He pointed and shouted loudly, don't follow me anymore, and stop spreading nonsense rumors, got it? Guza also spoke, see you later. So Hyan yelled at him too, Potato, you too. Hyan Dong fearfully asked, so what should we do about this Kangbok meeting? And So Hyan flatly refused, what the hell is that again? I'm not doing it, nothing at all. Moreover, So Hyan said he would just go to school like a normal student. The sky gradually darkened, the sunset blazing across the sky. The TV and shows continued broadcasting as usual every day. So Hyan was still a carefree student as always, sitting there watching them. So Hyan immersed himself in his thoughts despite calls, wondering why he had to protect West Kangbok, and even use violence to do so. It was truly absurd. Da Hyan arrived at the door. Everything had quieted down. That crazy guy. You've caused trouble. Do you know? Do you know what they call you at school? The sister of running Kim So Hyan. She waved her hand casually and said, her name is Kim Da Hyan. Then she added, and why are the upperclassmen bowing to you anyway? He reassured Da Hyan that he had handled everything. So Hyan was still sitting on the sofa saying, that Kangbok meeting or whatever, don't worry, I'm not going to do anything bad. Although shouting loudly, Da Hyan didn't consider it a big deal, thinking, does he think I'm stupid or what? But anyway, it's better than getting hit. Da Hyan kept nagging and threatening that if he went to that meeting she would tell their mother, to which he responded casually, I already said you don't need to worry, because now you are free, about to be normal like everyone else. The quiet space of the karaoke room appeared in an instant. The voice of a subordinate rang out, Senior, have you heard about this? He clarified it was about So Hyan's school, but the response was a nonchalant question. Do I need to know about that? The subordinate said yes, sir, then told his junior to explain. Speaking with fear, Go Ha-jun has been overthrown. A new boss has appeared at West Kangbok. No sooner had he finished speaking than he got kicked in the left cheek immediately. Not stopping, the leader gave him another kick to the body. Despite the pain, he spoke with a trembling voice. Maybe this is hard to believe, but it is completely true. His name is running Kim So Hyan. But the leader said he wasn't hitting him because of that. Then why? Do you think I can just listen to that? He was Han Yi-ha, the leader or boss of East Kangbok. Arriving at another entertainment place, a subordinate asked the same question. Senior, have you heard what everyone is saying? About what? The boss had already heard that Go Ha-jun had been defeated by So Hyan and seemed very indifferent. The subordinate played around and said, I heard he is running Kim So Hyan. Then he asked, I heard he is extremely ruthless. Have you made a plan for this yet? What else? He smiled and replied calmly, of course, we will meet. This cheerful one was Kang Sok, the head of South Kangbok. On the sand were the names So Hyun and Hyun Dong. He smoked thoughtfully. The Kangbok meeting was coming. Could it be that So Hyun wanted to challenge him again? Lost in deep thought, he suddenly heard a phone ring. The caller was So Hyun. He asked what the call was about. Hyun Dong anxiously thought, I clearly told him not to contact me. And on the phone So Hyun stammered, it's like this. He slowly said he had thought it through, and then he cut in, Senior, you're crying. No, you don't need to worry about that. The important thing was that his mission was to attend the Kangbok meeting. Although he had refused before, now So Hyun had to reluctantly ask, when exactly is this Kangbok meeting, since the reward this time is also quite attractive? He cautiously probed, Senior, but clearly back at school. On the other end of the line came a lingering question. You said you wouldn't attend that meeting, but the reward is 11 cards. How can you not go? Cards, Senior, you're gambling, right? So Hyun simply said briefly that anyway he would go there. That was all he needed to know. He only replied that he understood, which surprised So Hyun quite a bit. Hyun Dong said he would go prepare immediately, even though So Hyun on the other end still asked, Wait, what? He shouted into the phone. Prepare what? Hey, but don't prepare anything. I already said I'll participate. The voice on the other side kept nagging, while he put on a 7,749 expression face, deep and dangerous, running through his mind. The next day So Hyun went to class and used his thief skill to spy on a female student. Then he spied on a male student, which gave many people a strange feeling. He kept using the skill randomly, causing a stir. I don't know. Just now I suddenly felt really bad. So Hyun felt very happy using the skill to spy on others' ability stats. But he also wondered why the people he spied on seemed to feel like someone was looking at them. A thought flashed. Could it be that when I spy, the other person feels embarrassed? Is it okay for me to use this skill? Funnily, this spying skill even had levels, meaning it could be upgraded like jab. So Hyun's spying skill was probably at the lowest level. If upgraded to E, what would change? He wondered whether he should do something. More precisely, whether he should spy even more. So Hyun continued using the spying skill. This time it was Guza, whose exaggerated expression made So Hyun wonder what was wrong with him. He pushed that thought aside and asked Guza, Potato, can I ask you something? The surprise at seeing Potato's ability stats made So Hyun unable to resist asking, what potential do you have at rank S? Guza didn't understand the question, and So Hyun felt he had gone too far, so he said, no, never mind, you don't need to worry, though in his heart he still wanted to know what potential Guza really had. On the busy street, a steady voice rang out, today, Guza said, it's the day of the Kangbok meeting. So Hyun muttered, damn, if not for the 11 cards, nothing. So Hyun wandered in thought, as long as I participated I could complete the mission. But since when did I become addicted to rewards and chasing these missions? So Hyun turned to thank Guza for coming with him, and Potato also asked if he had a plan yet. He said initially just participate, and after that try to escape. He himself secretly prayed that nothing would happen. He heard that East Kangbok, South, and even North Kangbok would participate. They are all terrifying people. He even thought it would be best not to provoke them. Potato heard his prayer and softly replied that if nothing happened there, it would be somewhat unlikely. Why? Potato signaled for him to look ahead. Ahead were subordinates lined up respectfully, shouting in unison, Senior, you have arrived. So Hyun, surprised, stammered and asked, what the hell are you doing? They answered that the Kangbok meeting is a gathering place for the supreme figures of the high schools in Kangbok. Hyun Dong then shouted that they had to prepare like this in case something happened. Why do it like that? He also said these were freshmen to support him in fighting. Even that kid whose grandfather is dying was left to focus here. All the brothers here are loyal to him. They would not hesitate to die for him. Potato then said, if everyone is determined like that, today our brothers will dine in hell. and So Hyun did not expect Guza to calmly accept this. He feared this acceptance would cause further misunderstandings. So Hyun shouted helplessly. Evaluations continued. It seemed they were preparing to fight, looking like ruthless scoundrels. So Hyun shouted for everyone to go home. The meeting would be attended only by the three of them. But Hyun Dong thought that dealing with thugs from other schools only required So Hyun. I never said that you were crazy. Hearing this, Hyun Dong immediately ordered his juniors to disperse. Only the three of them went to the meeting. So Hyun did not know how things had turned out this way. In the rooms with familiar dim lights, a subordinate with a distorted face said, "Say it again, uncle, why aren't you doing it like before?" He stammered an apology when he heard the question. Yi-ha leisurely smoked and said, "High school students are scary these days, aren't they?" He said that and hit the kid. Life. He hit one side then the other until the boy's face was no longer intact. That was how it was. The man stubbed out his cigarette and said, "You told me I'm a thug, so I must do what thugs do." His frightening face coupled with a hand about to strike threatened, "Drink and puke the money out now." At that moment another voice sounded, and he glanced over. A man stopped him, and he sneered, "You really have a passion for this?" He did not hold back and hit the man who tried to stop him. "Get lost, you sicko." Another kid spoke in a trembling voice, "Boss, I'm sorry to bother you at this time. What is it?" The kid announced that the meeting would start soon. He glanced aggressively and said, "I have to go to that damned place." Sunlight began to change color. Sunset was falling. So Hyun stood before a large construction site. He quietly asked, "Are they holding the meeting in a place like this?" "Yes, senior." According to Hyun Dong, this is a building that is temporarily halted in construction. It was unknown since when this place became such, and the meeting has always been held here. Just hearing it made the scent of imminent danger obvious. So Hyun also said if someone died here, then gods would not know and devils would not either. Could it be that today he intends to kill all those guys? I never said that. Guza's face gradually showed unease. So Hyun lifted a tarp and stepped inside. He thought they were all disgusting, scary people. He wondered if he would be beaten as soon as he entered. Hearing a sound, Kang Sok was already waiting. "Please come in." They asked if he was Kim So Hyun from West Kangbok. He stammered and answered yes. He introduced himself as Kang Sok of South Kangbok. "We are the same age, so speak freely." Greetings rang out. "Your name sounds extroverted, like a character in a movie, Kang Sok." He even pointed So Hyun where to sit, so he judged him to seem like a decent person. The three sat huddled in a corner. So Hyun quietly judged Kang Sok as gentle and decent. Yet he was the boss of South Kangbok. So Hyun reassured himself his worry was needless. Then Hyun Dong called So Hyun. He struck to the point. "Don't be deceived by that smile. What? He only looks like that, but he is the boss of South Kangbok. A person whose true nature no one can know. There is a reason he became boss." Hyun Dong carefully warned him not to let his guard down. Very possibly they are the most dangerous in the Kangbok high school cluster. Kang Sok's group also voiced opinions about So Hyun. "Senior, how do you see Kim So Hyun? It's been a long time." He recalled So Hyun's casual greeting. He even casually called him Suk Suk. He thought that calling him that was provocative, and it had been a long time since someone dared to call him that. So Hyun looked across at the gentle face and wondered what he was talking about in that corner. A guy like him, how dangerous he could be. But So Hyun still wondered why the mission had not been completed. He told himself he had to receive 10 bronze cards. He really looked forward to those cards. After thinking for a while, So Hyun looked around puzzled. Why haven't the other schools arrived yet? North and East are still nowhere to be seen. Seeing him turn around, Hyun Dong thought So Hyun was warming up. Then someone loudly scolded, "Damn, you have to check this curtain." Yi-ha entered and sneered, "Another unlucky kid." Kang Sok still wore his wind-up doll face, friends with each other. The three of them bowed their heads when Yi-ha entered. So Hyun could tell he was dangerous just by looking at him. A feeling of death lingered. At that moment, the notification board reappeared reporting that So Hyun had completed the mission. He was joyful to see he had received the long-awaited reward. Upon receiving the reward, he only wanted to go home. Guys, let's go, Senior. So Hyan casually thought about what ability he would get this time and where to secretly open it. A deadly call rang out piercingly. Hey! Yeeha grabbed his throat and glared, asking, where are you going? He said he had come to the meeting because of So Hyan. Kang Sok still smiled like a psychopath despite Yeeha asking. You are Kim So Hyan, right? The boss of West. He glared at him with sharp eyes, looking at this kid. So Hyan sighed helplessly. Seeing that he got more agitated, can he still smile? He treated it as obvious. This is called a mission with a preset motif. If I take any action here. So Hyan looked at the guy in front of him. If he made a move, a fight mission with this guy would appear. He recalled when he brawled with Ha Jun, it was exactly the same. So Hyan really did not want to fight this guy at all. So if he wanted to prevent the mission from triggering, he decided to do nothing, remaining motionless like a statue. Seeing him unmoving, he exclaimed, impressive. Kang Sok's subordinates also remarked that he not only provoked the senior, but wasn't even afraid of Han Yeeha a bit. They wondered about So Hyan's blank expression. Could he be trying to find Yeeha's weakness? Probably. It seems the rumors about him are true. They continued to discuss, to achieve his goals. He even kidnapped the enemy's family as hostages. He was known as running Kim So Hyan of West Kangbok, but if Kim So Hyan and Han Yeeha clashed, at least there would be a draw, which was also an opportunity for them. Kang Sok added that if both Yeeha and So Hyan became exhausted, they would attack immediately. So Hyan kept his statue-like stance, his eyes blank for a moment, staring straight at him. Then Yeeha spoke. This is the first time. He gritted his teeth and enunciated each word. Someone dares to provoke me like this. So Hyan saw that although the mission board didn't appear, he would eventually have to fight. Another voice rang out, hey you. Someone appeared to stop him. Stop right now. If you fight now, the moment the words ended, his face was pressed into Yeeha's palm. He flatly pressed the other's face, cutting the chatter. You dare rebel, he is Kang Sok, the boss. He continued, revealing Kang Sok's plan. If he and Kim So Hyan fought, Kang Sok could take advantage of the opportunity and cause something unknown. He calmly advised Yeeha to stay calm. Kim So Hyan cannot disappear immediately. The person they needed to watch here was really Kang Sok. Hearing this, Yeeha glanced at Kang Sok's people. He still smiled warmly and waved back at Yeeha's glance. Yeeha then relaxed slightly, no longer aggressive. So Hyan didn't know what to say in this situation. Yeeha simply exhaled. He turned and waved, forgetting it. Applause echoed in the tense air. Kang Sok laughed. Today let's stop here. If we continue, a fight will break out. He casually showed his card and smiled warmly. Everyone knows each other's faces now. Remember to greet each other if we meet outside. He looked at the empty chair, and it seemed that North Kangbok was not attending today. Seeing this, So Hyan felt very happy. Suck. You got it right, he said. Kang Sok thought So Hyan was provoking him, So Hyan wanted to go home but couldn't just leave, so he decided to spy on others. Kang Sok invited Yeeha to eat, but in return came a blunt refusal. You crazy, cut the crap. At this moment, So Hyan realized that when spying on the two in front of him, something was unusual. His level wasn't high enough to see Yeeha's and Kang Sok's ability stats. The sky was clear with bright sunlight shining down. So Hyan stepped heavily, moving like a zombie, his whole body drained even though it was early morning. He worried so much about the meeting that he just wanted to go home and sleep. But thinking back, spying on the two had failed. He slumped and said, my level is still too low, so at a low level I can't spy on everyone. So the standard for this must be my own strength. This meant Kang Sok's and Yeeha's strength was far greater than his. Feeling sluggish, he looked ahead and suddenly, what now? So Hyan asked anxiously, what are you guys doing now, senior? We respect you. We told you not to do this again. Stop being humble. They rambled. Even though he found it hard to understand the story of his bravery in this meeting, they had heard everything. They said he had used Long Tiger Fist to overwhelm Yiha, and even rumored that So Hyun could have ended the fight before Kang Sok could intervene. They also said the rumor had spread throughout the school. So Hyun immediately panicked. What the heck? Who spread such nonsense? A voice rang out. Senior, you must be tired. From morning till now spreading the word must have worn you out. No strangers, it's Lee Hyun Dong. Cheers continued endlessly. The boss is the best. We respect you. The hope of West Kangbok. Running Kim So Hyun, Senior, please show us the Long Tiger Fist. The story that you killed your master to steal this secret technique, is it true? So Hyun wanted to curse, but didn't even have the strength to speak. He lay curled up, his whole body aching. So Hyun mumbled in the infirmary, I must have overexerted yesterday. That's why it hurts so much now. So Hyun didn't know what Long Tiger Fist was. He only knew that now he had a fever. Recently he had requested to leave early too often, so now he couldn't. The nagging voice grew louder. What is this? It's already late. Is anyone even here? So Hyun switched to an excited mode and started opening the cards. The cards he received this time included 1 gold card and 10 bronze cards. First, So Hyun excitedly opened the gold card first. After opening it, he was so astonished that he had to exclaim. This is a master card for merging and splitting cards. He could receive downgraded cards or superior ones. Reading the function, he still did not understand how merging and splitting worked. If so, So Hyun decided to open all the bronze cards. Immediately the cards opened with different skills. He pondered them. Let's see, I can only use the downgraded power jump, but the penalty is a reduction of 3 intellect points. Because of this, I might become even dumber. Leave it alone for now. Looking at the pile of cards with their functions, the rest were quite puzzling. The bronze cards were Skill Deep Voice, sent downgraded. He used the card master to combine these 2 cards together. A combination of light appeared before his astonished eyes. After the system merged the 2 cards, he received a silver card. This silver card So Hyun received was an attack card. He could use a straight punch from boxing. So Hyun stared at the silver card in front of him. Then he tried the straight punch function as the silver card stated. He recalled the merging of cards from that gold card. He looked at the card before him excitedly, feeling it was getting more and more interesting. Suddenly, he remembered his mother's warning not to gamble. But he looked at the pile of cards under the mattress. They were strange. But how could this be called gambling? At this point, he felt something unusual in his body. To be honest, this game after all was still a game of chance. He decided to merge 4 silver cards together. Another beam of light surrounded So Hyun. After merging, he received 2 silver cards. These 2 were both activation cards, with functions of sports like basketball and football. So Hyun looked at the 2 cards in disbelief, as if he were an Olympic athlete. So Hyun reassured himself. No, stop it. You are crazy. He complained that the silver cards produced nothing. At least they had some benefits. What if a bad gold card appears? Stop now, you chimp. He talked to himself and answered himself. Shut up. Why should I worry about that? Suddenly So Hyun shouted that he only needed to get 1 good gold card. Right, exercising only makes him sweat. And So Hyun hated that. Even if he had it, he wouldn't use it. He prayed again as he combined 2 more cards. Thus praying and shouting loudly, we are basically chimps after all. At this point, the system had merged the gold card as he wished. So Hyun still did not dare open his eyes to face it. Is it done yet? He peered to see if the merge had completed. The gold card he received was an activation card with rather sensitive content. So Hyun shouted with joy, this is a combat card. The golden card that So Hyun just received had a special function. If hit 5 times, it would activate a beneficial effect. He immediately excitedly raised his hand to test it. A thunderous slap landed on his own face, the wound turning red, proving the strength of his hand. He held his face in pain, muttering to himself, this hurts. What is this? Nothing is happening at all. Did I do it right? He also thought, originally if he had said master please, maybe he would become a slave, but on the contrary it was better. Suddenly, the system notified that the main mission was completed. So Hyun was overjoyed, thinking to himself, now the main mission also needs me to be alert. If I want to combine cards, I must complete this first. The requirement this time was to recruit team members. The reward was 1 golden card. So Hyun stared blankly at the system, exclaiming, finally it has reached this stage, but recruiting team members, why does it feel so different from previous missions? Like I have to play rounds of a game, even a final boss to capture, completely different. At that moment, Guza received the invitation to join the team and immediately agreed. So Hyun was very surprised. The main mission is as easy as eating porridge. Basically, I can choose anyone and just receive the reward. Hyun Dong stepped in, worriedly asking, are you okay, senior? So Hyun raised his hand to greet me. You came to the infirmary. I am feeling better. Compared to that, you also joined my team? He was holding a medicine bag but froze, amazed. Finally, there is a team to unify Kangbok. So Hyun thought, however, if anyone is admitted to the team like this, will it be okay? What if I make a mistake? Hyun Dong immediately knelt, seriously saying, during this time I have been too disrespectful to you. Now I formally greet you. From now on I will call you boss. So Hyun pondered, indeed this is not simple, it is better to think carefully. He spoke, no, Hyun Dong, just act as if you heard nothing. So Hyun turned his back, calling Guza, let's go, Guza. He teased, I know, senior. Guza replied and laughed, what is wrong with you? Do you want to be number 2? Then So Hyun lay down on the couch, pondering, who should I choose? I have chosen somewhat randomly, but because it relates to the mission, I think I should prioritize those I have verified through my spying skill. Observing their abilities and choosing strong ones is better. He decided to first verify the cards received this time before recruiting more members. Suddenly someone stood in front of him, so Hyun was surprised. Who is this? Ki-rin stepped forward to greet, so it was Kim So Hyun. He immediately sat up. Beat Ki-rin, oh why are you here? She probed, do you live in this area? So Hyun was flustered. Why are you asking me that? Did I make a mistake? Ki-rin raised her eyebrows, so is it my fault then? She frowned and walked away. I am leaving. What is that crazy guy saying? He kept mumbling behind her. Bye, see you at school tomorrow. Suddenly, as if remembering something, So Hyun called Ki-rin back. Oh right. Ki-rin, wait a moment, I need some help. She turned her head in curiosity. Help, he hinted. I know this is a bit rude, but I wonder if you could slap me once. So Hyun remembered the golden card mission that required being hit. He was determined. I will ask Beak Ki-rin. So Hyun said, I need to verify something with my body. Ki-rin blushed and asked, you also? He was surprised. What is she saying? So Hyun scratched his face awkwardly. I think if I get hit something good will happen. She hurried. Really? Then I will hit and scold at the same time. He was stunned. I did not request that. Ki-rin continued. Anyway, I have nothing more to say. She raised her hand and shouted. Before Ki-rin could hit, suddenly a voice rang out. So that's it. Dong-jin and his followers stepped forward snickering. So you like to be hit? So Hyun was suspicious. Who are you? He replied. So that's it. You forgot about us, right? Memories of the previous fight came flooding back. Dong-jin was angry. You bastard. You dared to forget me. We came to avenge Sang Cheol, who you beat before, he remembered. So it was them back then. So Hyun shouted, what are you saying? I don't know you. Anxious. Why do I want to meet them again? Is it really Sang Cheol? These guys aren't monsters. He argued. From the start Sang Cheol appeared next to me. He pointed and introduced. Hello, I am Park Sang Cheol. So Hyun was stunned. What are you saying, you crazy guy? Suddenly the system board appeared. Side mission. He looked at the status board in shock. What is this? However, who is the boss of these hooligans? They look excited. I am doomed. Dong-jin laughed challengingly. Hey, he is resisting. Indeed, not afraid. So Hyun slumped. Tired already. Indeed, Sang Cheol. I already knew his name, he said. Who did you bring here? Suddenly footsteps approached and demanded firmly, "Stay away." He obediently replied, "Yes." Sang Hyuk stepped forward to introduce me as Sang Cheol's older brother. So Hyun froze. "Who is this?" "The boss of the hooligans. He used the spying skill." Then the system immediately analyzed him. Sang Hyuk was puzzled. "What is spying?" Looking into my interests. So Hyun was horrified seeing the analysis data. "He is truly terrifying. Strength, speed, durability are all excellent. B-level strength not even found in school. How can I fight him?" He said, "You are Kim So Hyun wearing a tank top. I have heard a lot about you." Suddenly Ki Rin stepped up to block So Hyun, staying away. "Where is your school?" she boldly threatened. He remembered, right, Beak Ki Rin is here, because her connections are extensive. "If this goes well," she demanded, "get lost. If you want to get hit, come here." The hooligans looked at the girl. "How dare you be arrogant? Do you think vile hooligans like us will let a woman go?" So Hyun hurried to protect. "Wait, she is not involved." Immediately he was punched in the stomach by Sang Hyuk, who shouted, "Are you crazy?" Kim So Hyun wearing a tank top. "Who the hell are you at Kangbukseo school? Are you a trash can?" He looked down contemptuously. Ki Rin worried. "Hey Kim So Hyun," Sang Hyuk's followers praised. "The boss's fists spare no one, especially against the weak they hit even harder." She was concerned. "Hey Kim So Hyun, are you okay?" He held his stomach and responded, "My stomach." Ki Rin trembled and asked urgently, "What's wrong with your stomach?" So Hyun looked at the Please Master status and exclaimed, "My stomach feels relaxed." His words stunned everyone. "Why are you happy?" They stood frozen, bewildered, looking at So Hyun. The hooligans were curious. What did that bastard just say? He said getting hit makes him feel good. Did he get hit with a tongue? This guy is crazy. He is really crazy. So Hyun was astonished. What is going on? Sang Cheol lunged forward in anger. "That bastard. You cannot say such things in front of women." She shyly agreed. "Right." Immediately after, he stood still taking the hits, feeling confused. Why does getting hit make my mood better? Suddenly the system reported, "Please Master achieved 5 hits." Something great appeared, so Hyun panicked. Good thing. Immediately the golden card appeared ready to activate. After hitting enough times, he challenged, "How's that, brat?" The status board showed, "To increase any one ability." Before Sang Cheol could rejoice, he got hit directly by So Hyun's punch. It announced, "Strength increased from E level to C." Immediately after, he continued striking him repeatedly. Ki Rin stood in shock watching So Hyun counterattack. Sang Cheol's teammates were too scared to speak. They watched him battered with concern. Sang Cheol has become strong now, right? He called out, "Beak Ki Rin, I have something to confess." She was startled and replied, "I am here." So Hyun turned back smiling. "If I get hit my mood improves." Hearing this, Ki Rin blushed like a tomato and cursed, "Crazy." He clenched his fists determinedly. "Being hit like this, I can win now. It's totally worth it." Sang Hyuk had been watching excitedly. "Give me what I like." So Hyun waved his arms and challenged me. His face was full of will and confidence. Sang Hyuk's face showed arrogance and self-assuredness. The new battle began, Kim So Hyun in a tank top versus the gangster boss. Immediately after the system reported the start of the side mission. The fight between So Hyun and Sang Hyuk was about to begin when shouts erupted from behind. The thug's followers lunged forward, shouting, "Our boss cannot stand this. That bastard dared to hit Sang Cheol again." They surged close to him. So Hyun used the jab skill. He hesitated, asking where Sang Cheol was. "There are so many, I must find a narrow spot like last time to fight. It seems using the jab defensively works better. First just run." The thugs were bewildered. How can this be? Unbelievable. So Hyun was stunned. "What is this?" They cried out, "Dong Jin so strong, yet knocked out after one hit like this? I cannot believe it. I defended successfully. It was not even a hit to the chin, so how did I make him faint with a single punch?" Meanwhile, his comrades cried and mourned. "Dong Jin woke up, friend." So Hyun paid no attention and stared intently at the system gold board. Could it be? Is this the power of the master card? He glanced at the crowd calling for Dongjin to wake up. So Hyan loudly called, "Beak Ki-rin." She answered, "What?" He requested, "Close your eyes." Ki-rin was surprised. "Close my eyes." Her expression bewildered with curiosity. So Hyan advised girls not to witness scenes like this. The thugs hearing this grew angrier and cursed. "You crazy dog, what are you barking? Calm down with the girls." Suddenly applause sounded. "Good, good." Sang Hayek was amused, getting more and more interesting. He looked at the strength analysis board and judged, "This bastard has endurance rank C." He aggressively raised his fist. "Come at me if you dare." So Hyan analyzed that with his current strength, he could win. He rushed in to counter with a straight punch. Both were stunned. Sang Hayek sneered, "What the hell is this? You guys were defeated by this weakling." The system announced strength reduction. So Hyan panicked. "Why did my power suddenly?" The gold card appeared, making him ponder. Hit too long, so contact stat dropped to only 4. Because the number of contacts is no longer 5, the strength decreased. The duration of this skill is too short. Right after that, the 2 charged to attack. So Hyan comforted himself. "It's fine, just get hit again, and it will be fine. One more hit and contact count will return to 5. The thug kept punching his face. So Hyan was weary, but getting hit like this, how can the card activate? Sang Hayek cursed as he struck. "Can you be this weak?" The crazy brat, after the thunderous blow, rolled on the ground. Suddenly, So Hyan's voice made him freeze. "Wait." He signaled for a stop time. So Hyan thought, "Earlier I did activate it. Could there be a special condition to trigger it?" Sang Hayek angrily closed in. Time never waits for anyone. He resolved in his mind, "No, if I lose, Beak Ki-rin will be in danger." At the same time, she ran up and shouted, "Oh my god, you crazy guys." He turned his head teasing, "Darling wife is waiting for you, right? Let me finish this guy first. Then I will play with you." After saying that, Sang Hayek threw a punch at So Hyan's face. Ki-rin's face showed worry, and she screamed, "Kim So Hyan." Suddenly the thug panicked. "What the hell is this?" Sang Hayek glanced at the punch coming from him. "This brat." Suddenly, with his punch, he realized So Hyan's fist had become stronger. After that he spoke, "Thank you, Beak Ki-rin. Now I know how I could reach the contact count. It is because of this heart, the heart that wants to protect Beak Ki-rin. If not for that, maybe it is from the shame of being hit in front of a girl." So Hyan mused, "Surely that's it. It is not just being hit that can activate the card. It could only activate when my pride was wounded. Maybe that's why this card is called Master Please." Suddenly his leg was grabbed by Sang Hayek. "So you know a little about boxing, but have you heard of me?" Park Sang Hayek, the grappling saint, introduced himself, while saying that he suddenly stopped, realizing something was wrong. Before him, So Hyan's aura was overwhelming, making Sang Hayek uneasy. Why can't this be? He was quickly struck down from above by So Hyan right onto his back. Sang Hayek's face showed pain along with a shrill cry. So Hyan's fists were powerful. He realized thanks to this skill his body weight had increased. There was a low-grade certificate of theft and a bunch of fans. So Hyan, while counterattacking, thought, "And the power of Master Please will also increase accordingly." At this moment even Ki-rin was bewildered. He kept thinking, his current stats, a rank punch, so Hyan unleashed a strong and decisive blow. After finishing the fight, his hand loosened down. The system announced, "You have completed the mission." At this time he lay exhausted on top of him. So Hyan raised his hand to cover his eyes. This time what card will it be? Curious, really. The next day in the daytime, the blazing sunlight poured down on the school. He carried his bag, stepped into the hallway, and slowly walked into the classroom. So Hyan thought, the mission is really interesting, but why did it appear to me? And the missions are too suitable for my circumstances. Could someone be behind all of this? Suddenly he was slapped, and the system notification "Please Master" appeared. Ki-rin cursed. "Damn." So Hyan held his face. "It hurts. What on earth is happening?" Beat Ki-rin, she angrily cursed. What did you do? Why, Ki-rin trembled and interrogated. She shouted, why are there rumors that we are dating? People around them whispered, oh my god, is this a love battle? Classic schoolyard romance then. He stammered an explanation. What are you saying? I never spread that rumor. Dating what? We did nothing. It was only an indirect kiss. It was all nonsense rumors. Ki-rin snapped. Spoke properly. People buzzed. Did you hear that? So Hyun's gaze deepened, and he was surprised. Hyun-dong spoke up. Senior beat Ki-rin. It is not like that. Senior Kim So Hyun rescued me when I was bullied by thugs, so I fell for him. She embarrassingly protested. I told you it is not like that. Who likes who? Why do you imagine such things? Students murmured. So what was that just now? Beat Ki-rin raised her hand to strike. Kim So Hyun put his cheek up to block. Come here then. Outside the school, silhouettes of students drifted past. Two people collided. The student said, sorry. When he looked up, he was terrified. Following the figure ahead with his eyes, wasn't he? Behind the East Kangbok High School, a brawl was happening. Sang Hayek knelt trembling. Sorry, I am really sorry. I tried my best, but I still could not beat that guy. The rumor about running Kim So Hyun is true. That bastard pretends to be weak so the opponent lets down their guard, then delivers a ruthless blow to the chin to knock them out. With my wrestling experience, that guy definitely learned martial arts. Each of his punches is very strong. I am sorry I disgraced the name of East Kangbok. Then an authoritative voice sounded. Hey! Yi-hee approached with a powerful aura and said, I did not expect anything from you anyway. Pathetic. It is really ridiculous. Who do you think you are? We only took money from you a few times and you got cocky. We will not fight you because it has no value. If we fought, we would be admitting you are on our level. But Kim So Hyun really did boast about it. Sang Hayek replied, certainly. He continued, then we must go meet him. Then a low-grade certificate appeared. The thieves and their fans are bad people. Yi-T sneered, daring to spread rumors, wanting to fight me. Park Seon sneered, but we have plans this afternoon. The boss, can you cancel them for me? He blocked. Did not cancel, he asked. When do you plan to catch Kim So Hyun? Yi-T turned around with a sinister smile and said loudly, right now. Back in So Hyun's school courtyard, he sat in class watching the system intently. The card I received this time is a bargain. This is the you and me card. So Hyun wondered, a bargain. He hesitated. Should I try it right now? He stared fixedly at the information the system had displayed, thinking to himself, should I try it now? Meanwhile, Yi-ha sat there calmly sucking on a cigarette with arrogance, his eyes upturned, showing no fear or hesitation. Suddenly a voice rang out. Senior Yi-ha glanced at him, then replied coldly, what? D-sung with a chubby body quickly spoke up. I have caught the chicken, but do I have a knife to butcher it with? Give it to me. I will take that guy down and bring him before the Bukdong school statue. He turned to look at D-sung, then smiled maliciously. Gu Ha-jun already lost to him, right? He softly called, Senior. Immediately after, he patted his huge fat belly, looking heavy as if implying the answer he wanted. D-sung sneered, don't you believe this? Yi-ha looked at him, slowly speaking. You pig, you've lost your mind again. What are you guys planning? How you lot? Go home. The scene shifted to the tall school buildings with warm sunlight shining down. So Hyun sat silently staring at the system display. The card I obtained this time is a burst increase. I'm not sure whether this is good or bad, but it seems useful in practice. The question is, should I split it with the master card? No, first leave it alone. Splitting cards all the time is an addiction, and I could bankrupt myself with those things. Compared to that, I must finish the mission first. Who should I choose among the remaining members? My sandal strap just broke, he thought. I have to find someone with strong abilities. In a while, the level of the spying skill will increase, and for now I'll officially search from rank E. So Hyun looked helplessly at his broken strapped sandal, looking pitiful. He spoke, starting with the sandal. Just as he was fumbling with the sandal, Ki-rin appeared from somewhere with a cold tone. Hey Kim Soo-hyun, the homeroom teacher is calling you. Oh, that bastard, so stubborn. Somehow his head struck her ample chest. The situation made his whole body tremble, and his nerves go numb. She continued taunting. How does it feel, you bastard? Like it? He answered fearfully and stammered. No, not that, my sandal. She angrily slapped him hard across the face. Gritting her teeth, she shouted, Do you like it, you pervert? At that moment the system cried out, Please, master. He clutched his face in pain and hurriedly explained, That's not it. Really, it's not. Whatever injustice happens, it's my fault anyway, she warned. I have to go to the police station now. Tears welled up at the corners of his eyes unjustly. No, don't go, Beak Key. What is this? Suddenly behind him Ha-jun appeared, looking at him with cold eyes, making So-hyun feel a chill down his back. What is this, Gu Ha-jun? He hurriedly ran up the stairs, poked his head out and said, You have returned to school. It has been a while since you last attended. We were very worried about you. Of course I was worried too. Have you eaten breakfast? Ha-jun coldly recalled. Ah, we are not that close, right? So-hyun awkwardly forced a smile. I talked too much. You must be annoyed. Right, I should have kept quiet. Suddenly at that moment, the system sound rang reminding him of a side mission. So-hyun was stunned. What? What is this? It tells me to recruit Gu Ha-jun into the team. How can I recruit someone I have fought? I won't be able to win if we fight again. Since this is a side mission, I guess I should give up. Behind him, Kim Jin-dan whispered, It's Kim So-hyun. Be Min curious. Is he planning some mischief again? While they whispered, he remained lost in thought. That is the silver card, right? The system chimed. Yes. Suddenly he shouted loudly, Hey Gu Ha-jun. Everyone around looked at So-hyun with bewildered faces. He shyly looked at Ha-jun. This is right. He held out his hand and smiled friendly. Will you join my team? His heart pounding. I cannot give up collecting cards. He softly called. Ha-jun. He coldly replied, He stood there smiling awkwardly. Bye-bye. Looks like it's not going well. The scene shifted to the bus stop. Potato's deep voice rang out. Lucky you. You're okay. He replied. Yes. He touched his chin thinking for a moment, then said, Truly unexpected. Gu Ha-jun, just let him be. So-hyun said, Indeed, that's right. During the break I could not sleep at all, worrying Gu Ha-jun might suddenly attack. I also cannot use the spying skill. He wondered. Spying, So-hyun hurriedly said. Nothing, don't mind it. Potato replied. If the country were this stable. At that moment, a shrill cry rang out. Senior. He was startled. Beak Dong announced. Something big happened. Hyun Dong was captured by some guys from Kangbuk-dong. He froze. What? Call the police? You seem to underestimate civil rights. Beak Dong anxiously said. First we should gather the others. Right. So Hyun smiled at him. Didn't you hear me? Since you already know how to do it. He was stunned and worried. Yes, you reminded him. If I go there, there will be more fighting, you know. So we are leaving. Beak Dong looked bewildered as they turned to leave. Senior, are you joking? Over here he adjusted his glasses and asked So-hyun, Really not going, is that okay? He replied, I will not go. If it is Kangbuk-dong there will be Han Ki-ha. I had intended to test and reflect. I do not like going there for nothing. Then being dragged into a fight, if there is a mission. But I have not taken many tasks anyway. Besides, if Lee Hyun-dong, I also have reasons to do these meaningless things. It would be better if he detached from me. The weather is really nice. Scene shifts to the abandoned building. Hyun-dong's fit body was struck down to the ground, while their mocking voices said, The weather is really nice, right? Today the weather is so nice. Why is Lee Hyun-dong of Kangbuk-seo living like this? You got mixed up with Gu Ha-jun already, and now Go-dok jeered and taunted. If Kim Soo-hyun in a tank top also gets defeated like that, will you go lick someone else's ass? Hyun-dong slowly spoke. Don't people say a clever bird chooses a branch to perch on? A clever person chooses a master to serve. Go-dok sneered. Clever? What are you saying? You dog think you're going to university. I'm not just a bird choosing a branch to perch on. Now, I have found a master to follow. Kim Soo-hyun in a tank top. Hyun Dong's sharp eyes fixed on Go-dok. He warned coldly, "For me, there is no next time. Anyway, senior, he did not come to save me, so it's better to end like this." Hwang D-sung sneered. "So," Hyun Dong taunted him, "aren't you ashamed? Han Ki sent you here just to capture only me." He raised the iron rod in his hand. "Oh, you fight me alone, and you say you have a chance to win?" Hyun Dong smirked. "What is this, now using weapons?" He swung the iron rod in his hand, and slowly said, "No, it's for you. Try hitting me." Hyun Dong grabbed the iron rod and wildly hammered it into his fatty belly. "You crazy bastard." Suddenly Hyun Dong was dazed. Sweat continuously poured down his face. He looked at the rod on his belly and calmly said, "Is it over?" Hyun Dong wondered. It barely did anything. Suddenly Go-dok rushed from somewhere and stomped a fierce kick into Hyun Dong's stomach. "What are you doing, you dog? Don't you know who Hwang D-sung is? He is number 14 of Bukdong School, rank 14. He is the 14th strongest. Say goodbye to your senior." "Well then." Hyun Dong lay dazed on the painful ground. "Senior." Go-dok lifted the large iron rod and shouted, "Let's finish this." Hyun Dong thought sadly, "I am very sorry, brother, for causing trouble lately." Just as things were slipping into chaos, So Hyun suddenly appeared and used a straight punch to Go-dok's face. The henchmen standing around looked bewildered, not yet understanding what was happening. Meanwhile, D-sung with his chubby face curled his lips into a sinister smile. On this side, Hyun Dong widened his eyes in astonishment. "See, senior, senior." So Hyun shouted angrily, "Lee Hyun Dong, you really are a bastard. You worry me for nothing, bothering me every day, constantly making me concerned, and we have become closer to each other. Do not worry. Anyway, I will try." At that moment, you were using the spying skill. They jeeringly spoke. "Who is this? Are you Kim Soo-hyun?" He glanced at them. "Take a look." Seung-hoo quietly said, "He is smaller than I thought." Hipsep replied, "Is this the leader of Kangbukseo School?" So-hyun thought, "These guys are worth trying out." D-sung raised an eyebrow and said, "Senior Kim So-hyun, you said you are 1 year older, right?" So-hyun silently calculated how terrifying would an A+ durability be. He promptly pulled out vigorous attack cards. Using these, D-sung stepped up close to him and slowly said in a grating tone, "From now on, if you beat me to a pulp, is that okay?" He thought inwardly, "Can I win?" D-sung, with his large, bulky body, leaned over and looked down at him, speaking, "From now on I will strike continuously. Hope that's okay." At the same time, the system displayed a card announcing D-sung's tremendous durability. He thought, "Can I win this?" D-sung kept provoking. "Senior." He looked at him with sharp eyes, silently cursing, "This idiot." D-sung arrogantly raised his face. "Why aren't you answering?" He looked at the heavy, tall body and felt uneasy. How could he be so big and bulky? The height difference is too great. If I attack the face, I will be at a disadvantage. Meanwhile, his henchmen chattered. "D-sung, should we handle it? Normally the small fry go first. No need to bring out the goods early." D-sung took off his outer jacket, flicked it behind his henchman, and spoke provocatively. "Let me end this quickly." The henchman covered by the jacket mumbled, "Oh my god, good job." He glanced at them, wondering, what the hell are they saying? Do they want to solo with me or what? D-sung smirked maliciously. "Well then, senior," So-hyun thought. If that's the case, he used 2 consecutive sources of power. Jab along with the straight punch skill to D-sung's abdomen. The force made him wince in pain. So-hyun thought, I have to thank them. So-hyun's furious, vigorous punches made Hyun Dong widen his eyes in shock, feeling dizzy and unable to believe the situation before him. Even D-sung's henchmen could only gape in fear as their boss was easily defeated by the small So-hyun. Suddenly, the chaos was interrupted by his voice. "Senior?" He looked at him in surprise. "Huh?" He glanced at So-hyun's fists, unable to strike his heavy, fatty abdomen, and mockingly said, "Are you dancing?" He thought, is he really not feeling any pain? So-hyun gritted his teeth in anger, the fire within rising. His hand clenched into a fist, raising it. "You bastard. Time passed. He continuously used the power cards granted by the system. Yet Disung remained standing unharmed. He was stunned. His punches were completely absorbed by Disung's fat. That's why his durability is a plus, so the only option is to strike his face. Seeing him spring up, Disung sneered, "Ridiculous. This is way too weak, Senior." Hyun Dong, watching from afar, shouted anxiously, "Senior, the weight difference is too much." So Hyun reassured himself, "It's okay, if the problem is weight, I have a way." Hyun Dong shouted worriedly, "Indeed it's Senior. Please forgive this sinner with doubts." So Hyun thought, "I have that card, one card that ignores weight, surpasses any limit." Suddenly the system issued a notification. "You failed to use the card." He was stunned. "Huh." Disung lifted him up easily, so Hyun trembled as he saw the system announce the use of a card. "You can only use the limit break card once per day. The cooldown time to use this card again is 1 hour. He worried in his heart. "Right, limit break. I used it yesterday." After So Hyun took the brutal punch from Disung, they mocked, "Senior, what is this? So easy to take." "Senior." So Hyun lay weakly on the ground with a hollow face, sweat pouring endlessly, exhausted. His heavy, bulky body sat on So Hyun's abdomen, taunting, "Are you really the top rank of Kangbukseo? Really weaker than imagined." So Hyun felt like he was being crushed, unable to move. He stood up, turning to leave, ordering his teammates, seniors, to handle it. "I'm beginning to see that this guy is not so scary," they all said in unison. "Okay, Disung, leave Kim So Hyun to us. 1 kick each and it's done." Suddenly Hyun Dong rushed forward to shield So Hyun, staring at them and shouting, you guys just kick me here." Meanwhile, somewhere a hand held a commitment paper of their group, a low-rank certificate with absurd clauses. Go Young, with a twisted face, holding a wooden stick, shouted, "Stop pretending to be righteous." In the chaotic critical moment, unexpectedly Ha Jun appeared, delivering a powerful kick to Go Young's waist. His presence made Hyun Dong and So Hyun stunned, eyes wide in surprise. Hyun Dong looked at the famous face of Ha Jun in school in amazement. "Go Ha Jun, Senior, go Ha Jun." Suddenly Ha Jun spoke. "Kim So Hyun, I have a question for you. When you asked me at school about joining that group, what did that mean? Trying to lure me into the tiger's den?" So Hyun stammered, No, I just felt safer with you around." He removed his outer jacket to reveal a fit body. Slowly speaking, really strange, he wondered. "Huh," he said, "just leave these small fries to me." So Hyun was stunned. What do you mean?" Ha Jun walked forward proudly, announcing, "I will join your group." At the same time, the system sounded, "You have successfully recruited Ha Jun into the group." The function of So Hyun's silver card hunting system awarded a reward, successfully recruiting member Ha Jun according to the task. Then the system praised you. "You have completed the mission. You now have a silver card." So Hyun looked at the system screen in astonishment, receiving the glowing silver card issued by the system after completing the side mission. So Hyun stared in amazement at the powerful functions of the silver card. The fat Disung mocked. "Oh ho, isn't that Senior Go Ha Jun? First time meeting Ha. I've wanted to meet you for a long time. Let's start." Ha Jun said, "It's not me." Disung asked what? Ha Jun slowly parted his lips and said, "I won't fight you." The fat Disung doubted. "What do you mean?" Suddenly at this moment, So Hyun's cold voice rang out. "It's just that I wasn't properly dressed earlier." Running Kim So Hyun, "You have restored your strength using the card. You have used the recovery bean. Your stamina has been restored." The system sounded. A side mission had appeared. This time the system granted a big reward, a gold card when using other cards to achieve a card combo. Disung crazily threw powerful punches at So Hyun's face. The system was also startled. "Master, please." Disung, with a distorted, crazed face, yelled, "You wear that, and there must be something different." After Disung's punch landed, the system sound repeatedly rang. "Master, please, 2 contacts. Master, please, 3 contacts. Master, please, 4 contacts." Hyun Dong anxiously shouted, "Senior?" Disung attacked frantically. "Running your dog's head, and kept on. The system rang again. Master, please. 5 contacts. The corner of his mouth curled into a mocking smile. How embarrassing. At that moment the system announced, one of your ability stats has increased. Your strength has increased from E to C. He forcefully landed a solid punch into his chest. Strength continued to rise. The system reported, you used the straight punch. His legs began to tremble, sliding backward, leaving a straight line on the ground. He clutched himself with trembling arms, cursing non-stop. Bastard, how do you suddenly have such force? But like this, can I win? His teammates looked around in bewilderment, unable to believe their eyes at the scene of you crazily charging to attack Di-sung. Even Hyen Dong over here gaped, eyes wide in shock, and Ha-jun stared at him without looking away, seemingly with astonishment mixed with admiration. And the ordinary card the system issued, a bargain. This is the You and Me card. You can use Sergeant Jump, or the low-rank certificate with its baseless clauses. At that moment, he used the power to spring high. Because he was using the bargain card, seeing him jump like that made Di-sung stunned. He taunted Crazy Brat, so Hyen remained silent without replying and quietly accumulated internal power to attack the fat Di-sung. He scoffed and reached out his hand. I will grab you. Hyen Dong stood outside in fear, heart pounding, shouting, no, senior. Senior, surprisingly, in the chaotic and critical situation, he used internal power to attack forcefully by performing a spinning strike. His sharp eyes fixed on him, as a warning that Di-sung's recklessness would come at a heavy price. He recalled that the system had granted a reward after completing the mission, and you had obtained a silver card. And so Hyen watched in amazement at the premium functions of the silver card. Using the attack card's Taekwondo High Kick, he executed a high kick in Taekwondo. And at this moment, So Hyen used a powerful kick, striking his face brutally. The kick made Di-sung's face spurt deep red blood, causing him pain and giving him a sense of the price for his previous provocations. So Hyen's sharp features and eyes radiated killing intent, and he was ready to launch another fierce kick. Blood continued to flow from his nose, with the wound spreading across his repulsive face. The outcome for those who always look down on others was the price they had to pay, just like Di-sung now, collapsing tragically to the ground. His teammates could only stand by in fear, seemingly terrified after encountering a hornet's nest like So Hyen. Even Hyen Dong and Ha-jun were shocked, horrified at the sight of So Hyen's powerful kicks. He grabbed the 2 shirt strings while humming lively songs. The system announced, you have completed the side mission. And the daily riddles, if thieves and fans are beasts, right? Along with the answer options, exactly. How could it be wrong, perfectly correct, or even all 3 options? Returning to So Hyen, he casually released the 2 shirt strings, creating a sound that tore through the atmosphere, and at the same time, the system sounded, you have obtained a gold card. He tilted his head with empty eyes, slowly spoke, opening the card, and after receiving his request, the system also announced, proceeding to open the card. Suddenly the system chimed, please choose a card. He widened his eyes in astonishment. And at this moment the system presented a choice. You are allowed to choose one of the 2 cards below. So Hyen observed the system screen. Meaning I can only choose 1 card. How do I choose? Then Di-sung's henchman hurried over, surveying his body covered in patchy wounds. Di-sung, open your eyes, Di-sung. His face had gone pale. Amid the utter confusion of the group, Ha-jun spoke. Hey, Go-young looked up. Ha-jun arrogantly slipped his hands into his pockets, bowed his head coldly and said, take him away. Scene shifts to the rows of buildings in a luxury apartment complex, highlighted beneath a beautiful sunset. He looked shabby, his uniform dusted with the fine powder from the fight. His face drooping as he trudged into the house, too tired. Every day must I fight like this. My body is about to fall apart. I must go to my bedroom right away. As he looked up he froze and widened his eyes at the sight before him. Damn. Da-hyen was showing off her waist to the rhythm of the song. She swayed gracefully and hummed along. He said, what are you doing? That voice made her startle. Da-hyen shouted, you told me to come home late. He frowned. Who cares about you? I am tired too. Stop it, she explained. All the juniors do this. He ignored her and turned into the room, flopped onto the bed. Exhausted, he said, I do not care. Stop it. Since when did you start writhing like that? Da Hyan sulked. Writhing what? It is addictive. He sank into thought. What should I choose? Which card? The first card is clairvoyance. Knowing in advance the function of the card I will receive in the future is of course very good. But do I really need it now? The second card is reception. And there is a card stronger than diamond and gold. The challenger card. I do not know what to say. But why does it want to meet me? Will it answer the questions I have always wondered about? I do not know. Now I just want to sleep. Scene shifts to the location of East Kangbok High School under a dreamy purple sky. Disung's chubby body and greasy face spoke. Yes, you told me to go home. Park Seon looked at him with a fierce gaze and warned. That is right. Do you not know Yi-ha's temperament and still speak like that? Yi-ha will not leave a loser like you alone. You better not show up in front of Yi-ha for a while. If you do not want to be beaten to death, then shut your mouth like it is the end. Disung nodded fearfully. Yes, I understand. For now just go home. Suddenly at that moment a voice rang out. Hey, causing him to open his eyes in surprise. Yi-ha arrogantly and recklessly stepped forward, his voice cold. What did you just say? Park Seon greeted. Yi-ha, you've arrived. He smirked slightly, his tone radiating killing intent. Hwang Disung, you're at school. Around them everyone stammered and trembled. Yi-ha, just stay calm. Disung hurriedly dropped to his knees, bowing his head in fear. I'm sorry, senior. Please forgive me. I almost won. Suddenly Go Ha-jun appeared. Then, if you give me one more chance, I will. Disung's words caused Yi-ha's raised arm to freeze midair. At that moment, at the West Kangbok School complex, bustling under the warm sunlight and gentle breeze, So Hyan smiled happily, speaking slowly. Ha-jun, thank you for yesterday. It was really dangerous. If you hadn't arrived just in time, something serious would have happened. But why did you save me? Your name is Go Ha-jun, so you saved me. Right. Go Ha in Korean means rescue. Sounds nice? Ha-jun gently turned his head with a cold tone. Kim So Hyan, why didn't you say anything all this time? But now you say it. So Hyan looked embarrassed at the space around the boys' restroom while Ha-jun was using it, hurriedly explaining, well, I just happened to see you, so I helped you. Ha-jun said coldly, I can handle it myself. So Hyan praised. Wow, you're really good. Ha-jun looked confused with a question mark above his head. The two of them walked down the hallway of the classroom building. So Hyan spoke. Oh, and thank you for joining my group. Ha-jun replied. Don't misunderstand. That's just a temporary thought. You'd better focus on the Dong Kangbok group. He tilted his head to look at Ha-jun, quietly asking, and Ha-jun, what kind of person is Yi-ha? I guess from now on he won't touch me. I heard this guy lives recklessly. Just then Seo-kyeon and Buk-jong passed by. Seo-kyeon whispered, oh my, Go Ha-jun is with him too. Buk-jong replied, he's not fastening his jacket anymore. So Hyan continued curiously, if you're here, we can definitely take down Han Yi-ha easily. Suddenly Ha-jun interrupted coldly, Kim So Hyan, you should be careful with Han Yi-ha. He is not someone to take lightly. So Hyan was shocked. What do you mean by that? Ha-jun parted his lips to say, people who don't know Han Yi-ha will simply think he is a delinquent thug. At the same time, at West Kangbok, an intense interrogation was taking place. Yi-ha's sharp eyes seemed to want to crush Disung. Ha-jun said, Han Yi-ha, Yi-ha shouted with weight in his voice, Hwang Disung. Because from what Ha-jun knows, he is completely different from how he looks. Yi-ha grabbed his head and smirked maliciously, probing, how does he fight? Meanwhile, Ha-jun was talking to So Hyan, saying he's smarter than anyone I know. Yi-ha spoke, you are not the type to be easily beaten, are you? Tell me from the beginning to the end. Every word, action, even Kim So Hyan's habits. Where is he strong, and what must be watched for? What techniques does he use? The atmosphere became suffocatingly tense. Yi-ha stared intently at Disung's face, waiting for an answer. After a while of conversation, Yi-ha said, I know now, Park Seon asked. Yi-ha, what did you learn? Immediately after, Yi-ha delivered a powerful kick to Di-sung's chest. Di-sung's face was streaked with wounds, blood spraying terrifyingly. Yi-ha said, I know what running Kim So-hyun is like now. Park Seon's group were astonished. Di-sung was taken down by one strike. So that is Kim So-hyun, him. Yi-ha slowly smoked and spoke coldly. I have already confirmed everything. A man who was about to die suddenly returned to normal, and with such skillful footwork. Surely he is that kind. The system chimed, introducing Yi-ha's intellect stat as a plus. At this moment at the Kangbok unification meeting organized by So-hyun's followers, they stood solemnly. It looked like a serious meeting. Sharp eyes, straight backs like formal military posture. And then they bowed and said in unison, Congratulations, sir. The atmosphere left So-hyun and Potato stunned. So-hyun shyly covered his face. What is there to congratulate? They said loudly, Of course we must congratulate you. Potato pushed his glasses up and said quietly, presenting the report. Hyun-dong spoke. I requested permission to begin today's presentation. Everyone already knows the upgraded boss's nickname, Running Kim So-hyun Eating People. This nickname appeared after the senior controlled and defeated Hwang Di-sung. He wondered if that rumor was already out. Hyun-dong continued pointing on the map and presenting. But sadly this Hwang Di-sung ranked 14th does not manage any district. If he did manage some area, that area would already be ours. Regrettable, very regrettable. He was dazed thinking, why did things turn out like this? Hyun-dong said, from rank 13 onward each individual will be responsible for a certain area. From now on our territory will expand day by day, he thought. At this rate Kangbok will truly be unified. This all came from the missions. In the end, why did that mission appear? Was I the chosen one? Among the vast sea of people, why me? What will the final mission be? Hyun-dong suddenly called, interrupting his thoughts. Senior. So Hyun held 2 gold cards in his hand, feeling anxious. Will I be a slave to these missions for the rest of my life? He lifted the 2 cards and stared at them in bewilderment, while the subordinates kept praising him. Senior is acting. Everyone clapped. Senior, you're so cool. Indeed, Running Kim. So Hyun was lost in thought. I have too many questions. It's time for me to reach a conclusion. I hate having to do missions for life without knowing the reason behind them. Although missing the Heavenly Eye card was regrettable, I want to know the origin of this pile of missions. The system issued an informational sound. I will choose the welcoming card. According to So-hyun, I want to meet the card that wants to meet me, the challenger. The system wanted to verify once more. Will you use the welcoming card? The subordinates, seeing him silent the whole time, grew worried. Senior. So-hyun replied to the system, use it. And the system accepted. You are using the welcoming card. He parted his lips and muttered, what will this be like? What is this? Everyone. Suddenly the room was empty, even emitting a magical colorful light. He shouted loudly, where did everyone go? Everyone, where are you? Potato, Lee Hyun-dong. You guys, teachers. What is happening? Where did everyone go? After running around frantically looking for everyone, he stepped forward, his face drenched in sweat. He looked around and saw not a single person, everything bathed in that magical light. So Hyun slowly took step by step forward, creating the feeling that something hidden was present. He looked up at the sky where the strange light emanated, thinking, impossible. Suddenly the system chimed with a congratulatory sound. Nice to meet you. So Hyun was stunned. What is this? The welcoming card, gigantic in size, spoke. This is the first time we met, right? He was amazed. The challenger card. The system spoke. Surely you have many questions. Anything you want. Ask me. I will answer everything. So Hyun slowly spoke. If so, who issued the missions? Why do they exist? Why me? What do you want to understand about me? What is the final mission? The system responded, all right, from now on, I will answer all your questions. So Hyun looked up at the enormous card in astonishment. Really? The gate suddenly spoke. I will answer all your questions, which made So Hyun exclaim in shock. Really? The gate continued, right now, I will connect you with that person. So Hyun was confused and asked again, that person. Suddenly a human voice came from the gate, startling him once more. Yes, so you are Kim So Hyun. He was astonished. This is a human voice, isn't it? The voice continued steadily. You have already chosen the welcoming card. Your luck isn't bad. Hearing that vague statement made So Hyun even more curious. He quickly asked, So does that mean there are others doing missions too? Upon hearing this, the mysterious voice replied, You don't need to worry about that, because there is nothing for you to worry about. Trust me, we have met like this. It's just that I'm not yet certain if you are worthy to do that. So Hyun, hearing this, anxiously asked again, What is that? Is it the final mission? The voice did not answer directly but spoke vaguely. I understand that you are curious about many things, but for now, we cannot fully trust each other. Can you show me your abilities first? He vaguely asked. Abilities. The voice continued, unifying East Kangbok and South Kangbok. If you can do that, I will trust your abilities more. The request immediately shocked him. So Hyun was bewildered by the mission he had just received. He looked up at the gate, or more precisely the voice coming from it, and asked, If unifying them requires fighting, why should I do that? The voice responded provocatively, Are you going to give up? This is a once-in-a-thousand-year opportunity for you. Your vision has improved. You have grown taller, even escaped a life of being bullied by friends. Those were only the gold cards. Bronze, silver, gold, platinum cards. Those already make you satisfied. Diamond, Master, Challenger cards. Aren't you curious about the hidden powers behind these cards? What happened after that, no one knows. Only the urgent voices calling, Senior, Senior. So Hyun slowly opened his eyes. Seeing him move, the other students rushed over to hug him, crying and shouting, Senior, we thought you were gone for good. At first So Hyun was startled, but after a few seconds he responded, shouting, What the hell is this? You damn idiots, who touched me? Hyun Dong was the loudest, holding him tightly without letting go, tears streaming down, saying, You just closed your eyes and didn't say a word. So Hyun irritatedly replied, Isn't it because I was sleepy? The others looked confused. Yes. One of them spoke up. Senior, Potato will now explain the West Kangbok uniform to us. Do you want to hear it? He casually responded, Sure, go ahead. After a while, the person asked, If you're tired, should we stop here for today? So Hyun nodded in agreement. Yes, let's do that. Though in his mind he had already thought differently. So that's it. It turns out using the welcome. So Hyun stood up and turned to leave. Just as he reached the door, Hyun Dong from behind kept nagging at him. Senior, rest. Senior, you are not alone. Hearing that, he replied coldly. You mean to say that there is always Tae Kangbok beside me? I have not even asked you about the strange rumors about me yet. Anyway, he recalled what the voice from the gate had reminded him. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you. Opportunity. There will be higher-level cards. He carefully considered the proposal given. With the gold card, his height and vision have improved. What if he could get even better cards? Yes, thinking about that, he felt more motivated because opportunities only come once, as the gate said. So he decided to place the bet. Then, having made his decision, So Hyun turned to call his subordinate Hyun Dong. Hyun Dong, he quickly replied, Yes. He smiled at him and said casually, I am starting to be interested in unifying Kangbok. After saying that, So Hyun turned and left. Hyun Dong was silent for a moment and then called after him, Senior, your words just now, I will deliver them to all high schools in Kangbok. At the moment of saying that, Hyun Dong's face and the remaining subordinates looked very happy, even slightly blushing. Later, the school bell rang. The students quickly went home. A couple were laughing and having fun together. When suddenly the system notification appeared. You are using the spying skill. The girl suddenly slapped her boyfriend and shouted, Mung Bean. The boy was stunned, holding his face, and asked, What? We were having fun? What is wrong with you? She embarrassedly explained, Sorry, I just suddenly felt like I was being watched. So Hyun was hiding in a corner, observing them. thinking, today I will spy again. I can spy relatively well now. I have to accumulate experience gradually. The system notification appeared again. Congratulations. Your spying skill has increased to level E. So Hyan cheerfully exclaimed, all right, I successfully leveled up my spying skill. He smiled and scanned for a target. Very good, spying level E. Who should I use it on first? Finally his eyes stopped on Ki-rin. The sixth sense of women must have been alerting her, so her face was flushed. So Hyan was disappointed. Why is it always be Ki-rin? Then suddenly he froze. Oh. It turned out that a detailed system panel about Ki-rin's stats appeared before his eyes, making him surprised, even showing her weight. Isn't that too dangerous? In another corner of the city, where few people passed by, So Hyan was leisurely checking the cards he held. Let's see. He opened the silver cards of the boxing skill type to examine them. The cards he was holding, he could still push beyond the limit. He looked at them thoughtfully, but with just these, could he really unify East and South Kangbok? Probably he needed more attack cards. He recalled the two people he had to face and shivered. Not knowing about Sok Sok, Han Yiha was truly terrifying. Maybe he should avoid. While lost in thought, suddenly a voice rang above his head, a chilling and terrifying voice. So it's you. His hand unconsciously clenched the paper in his hand. The one who spoke was none other than Han Yiha. Truly, as the saying goes, Cao Cao has arrived. He looked at So Hyan, who froze, and asked, "What's wrong with you?" And So Hyan just stood there dumbfounded, probably too shocked to do anything, only managing to say, "Han Yiha." Yiha didn't say much, delivering a straight kick to his stomach, disdainfully saying, "We don't need to greet each other, do we?" Just one kick from him made So Hyan fall rolling on the ground, clutching his stomach and gasping, his mind screaming non-stop. What the hell is happening? Just one kick and I can't breathe. Then the cold voice filled with killing intent sounded, "What are you doing?" He saw Yiha take off his coat, his expression indifferent, asking, "Aren't you going to fight? I heard you're good with your legs." So Hyan had no choice but to use the recovery bean. But before he could do anything, Yiha launched another strike at him, asking, "So your legs are just for running, huh?" The system notification appeared, "Your stamina has been restored." Yihei took step by step towards So Hyan, truly strange. He fearfully threw his backpack aside, taking a ready stance. Yiha stopped, glanced at him from head to toe, and suspiciously asked, "How did you manage to defeat H1D Sung?" So Hyan stammered, "Spying." Then he used the spying skill to look at him and exclaimed in shock, "What?" He saw that and asked coldly, "Did you win because you spied?" But what was more concerning was Yiha's stats panel. All of his stats were at the maximum level. So Hyan felt like screaming inside. He actually had 2 S-rank stats. Looking back at his own dull stats, all B, D, E ranks, So Hyan swallowed hard. I can't compare with him. The recovery beans are gone too. What should I do now? While So Hyan was confused and worried, the system rang out again, "A mission for you." So Hyan's mission appeared. 1. Defeat Han Yiha. Reward, a platinum card. So Hyan's heart immediately surged. Defeat him, huh? With no other choice, he decided to take a risk and stepped forward, calling, "Han Yiha, catch me and hit me properly. There's no one else here. Playing with me like this is useless." Though he was very scared, indeed material matters determine consciousness, he was too afraid to give up the delicious platinum card. So he had no choice but to use tricks to win. He added a few more words. "This battle is between West Kangbok and East Kangbok. Why is it in the wilderness like this?" He thought to himself, "I'm still weak, so this is the only way." He continued to provoke him. "Otherwise, are you afraid of losing to me or what?" As soon as the words came out, Yiha cut in. "Hey!" So Hyan panicked. His mind screamed, "Please let it go." He only saw Yiha press close to his face, his voice cold as ice. "I will meet you again later." Making So Hyan secretly happy, he had let him go. He carefully picked up his backpack and said, "You don't need to worry about that. Running Kim So Hyan, will contact you proactively." Yiha responded casually, "Is that so?" Then see you then. Yiha just left the words and turned away, leaving So Hyun a bit uneasy. He watched him and hesitated. Meanwhile, Yiha walked away calmly. Then suddenly So Hyun took a running jump. The system announced, "You are using a bargain." So Hyun really wanted to take a risk. He aimed for Yiha's back. For a monster with 2S rank stats like him, there was no chance of winning. His endurance was a... He spun, using the Beyond Limit skill, just one strike. He delivered a kick to the back of Yiha's head combined with the high kick skill, but he worried inside, would it work? And the answer was no. As the kick grazed him, Yiha ducked. So Hyun panicked and stared at him in fear. He spoke again, "Sorry." Then he spun and immediately kicked So Hyun in the stomach with even more force than the first kick. He growled, "I." Yiha stepped back 2 steps, took a running start, and jumped high, landing his kick on So Hyun's face, saying, "People like you never let their guard down." Numb from the blow, So Hyun fell to the ground. Yiha approached, looking down at him like a superior, evaluating. Truly strange. The jump was nothing special, but the technique seemed very precise. The system alarm appeared. The mission failed. So Hyun was nearly unconscious. But continuously other system notifications appeared. You have completed a hidden condition. You have experienced your first defeat against an unbeatable. So Hyun was in a daze when someone called him a senior. So Hyun slowly opened his eyes at that call. "Senior, senior." Hyun Dong grabbed his hand and placed it on his cheek, anxiously asking, "Are you okay?" So Hyun trembled as he sat up. "This is..." He guided him while explaining the classroom. "I heard that you fought Han Yiha and then fainted in a small alley, so I hurried here immediately." Hyun Dong's voice rang in his ears. "I've heard everything already. Han Yiha attacked unexpectedly. Only now do you know. I was beaten unconscious by Han Yiha, and Lee Hyun Dong brought me here." He eagerly recounted his efforts. "I treated you already, for my lord. I learned a bit of first aid." So Hyun thought to himself, "You should have taken me to the hospital. But anyway, thank you, Hyun Dong." A moment later he exhaled. "All right." So Hyun lowered his head and muttered sadly, "I really lost, completely lost." He recalled Yiha's kicks and had to admit, "I lost without even doing anything. This is the first time I've felt such a huge gap. Truly strange." He continued remembering the time he fought D Sung and compared. Against Hwang D Sung, he still had a chance to win. But why can't he handle Han Yiha? So Hyun weighed the two. In terms of strength, the gap was between S and B rank. Could this be the power I thought of? The power here includes attack ability as well. Suddenly a voice rang out, "You're lucky," making him glance over and go, "Oh." Ha Jun put his hands in his pockets and continued, "Being like this is already lucky." He was surprised to see him. "Why is Go Ha Jun here? Could it be because he worries about me?" But still politely greeted, "Oh hello." So Hyun paused, thinking, "Wait, what if the two of them fought? How strong is he after all?" Then he inadvertently muttered 2 words, "spying." Ha Jun tilted his head curiously, "You're looking straight. What are you spying on?" So Hyun was still lost in thought, staring at his stats panel, muttering, "He is also S rank." So Hyun compared Han Yiha and Go Ha Jun, same rank after all. So how could I beat Go Ha Jun? Did he really let me win? But why? Without thinking further, he spoke, "Go Ha Jun, I have something to ask you." He replied, "What is it?" So Hyun stepped down from the bed. It's nothing special." He looked up at Ha Jun and asked, "But why did you help me?" So Hyun explained, "When I fought you, you let me win, and then even agreed to join my group. Do you have a special reason?" He answered, "Because this is the first time." So Hyun was surprised. "Huh." Ha Jun looked down and explained, "I met someone like you, so I was just a little curious." He listened quietly, "But don't misunderstand, I won't be working with you." So Hyun thought awkwardly, "Go Ha Jun." He finished speaking and turned away. "I am leaving." He watched that retreating figure, thinking to himself, "Actually, you are the stranger here." Then So Hyun ordered, "Hyun Dong, you go out too." He bowed his head and smiled lightly, saying, "It seems you are very upset." Then Hyun Dong encouraged, I understand, senior, please recover your spirit quickly. He bowed his head and replied, thanks Hyun Dong. So Hyun glanced and added, close the door for me please. He looked at the card and thought, you must go out so I can open the card. Seconds later So Hyun was astonished holding the diamond card in his hand. He widened his eyes and muttered, unbelievable, I got a diamond card from a side mission. Heaven wants to help me. So Hyun recalled lying sprawled on the ground and told himself, speaking of fighting, of course you must win to be rewarded. This time it was just luck. That person said they wanted to see my ability. There is no reason to give me another card like this. He examined the card, steadied his spirit. Anyway, I will use this card well. I already obtained spying from the platinum card. So Hyun suddenly shouted, open the card. The system announced, you are opening a diamond card. In an instant the whole room was filled with rainbow colors, surprising him. So Hyun gaped at the system voice, congratulations, the summoning card was opened. Copy it in a safe place. So Hyun exclaimed in surprise, a summoning card. Scene changes to East Kangbok High School. Skinny youths and chubby ones lined up in a straight row. Opposite them were others standing solemnly, not daring to utter a word. One of them suddenly shut his eyes and shouted, senior. They immediately bowed 90 degrees before Yeeha and shouted in unison, thank you for your hard work. That one asked, senior, what about Kim So Hyun? He tilted his head and challenged, hey, if I lose would I still come here? Yeeha coldly assessed, nothing special, he is weaker than I thought. From now on West Kangbok is ours. He called Kang Do-hike, tell the kids to finish off West Kangbok. The man bowed and obeyed, yes senior. As Do-hike passed by, Yeeha added, if there is no Kim So Hyun there is still Go Ha Jun. It will be hard. Bring that guy too, the man asked. Who is that? He mentioned a researcher type called Park Kun. If you have that guy you can defeat Go Ha Jun. Stop the research for now, go quickly and return. Yeeha lit a cigarette and continued, and from now on I will focus on dealing with the Nam Kangbok guys. I will take down that damn Kang Sok. He held the cigarette and said, and after getting West Kangbok and Nam Kangbok, Yeeha greedily said, I will capture that bastard in North Kangbok too. Scene shifts to a high-rise building in the bustling urban area. Da Hyun clung to So Hyun's arm and pleaded, Appa please, do it for me. Appa, I beg you, she implored. My friend is coming over today. Please just stay in the room and do not go out. He indifferently Da Hyun denied it. No, not at all. She pretended an excuse. I am just worried you might feel awkward. You will not leave the room, will you? Appa. So Hyun laughed teasingly. I do not like that. I will go out and confess to your friend. Da Hyun took off her shoes and muttered, Appa, do not joke around. Do not leave the room. I will do whatever you want. He asked in surprise, really? Then So Hyun closed the door and called out, fine. I will wear my underwear and walk around everywhere. She could not hold back and screamed, damn it, seriously, just you wait. You may not be embarrassed, but I will die of embarrassment. The card appeared again. Summoning card. Cloud copy. Please copy in a safe place. He breathed a sigh of relief. So Hyun threw the bag aside, sat on the bed and whispered, finally home. He stared at the card thinking, I must try this card. A safe place is definitely home. So Hyun observed it for a while then decided. Well then, let us try it. He commanded, summon the copy cloud. The system voice rang, you are summoning the copy cloud. A sparkling light quickly covered So Hyun's face. He leaned back watching the energy cluster and spiral. So Hyun widened his eyes and exclaimed, insane? Then a blue cloud appeared as the system said, you have successfully summoned, surprising him. What the hell is this? Just then Da Hyun came out opening the door and grumbled, damn it. Are you kidding me? She scolded. We almost starved to death. Buk Jong cheerfully held up a food box. Sorry, I took too long buying tteokbokki. Sae and stood beside politely greeting Da Hyun. Hello. She handed the bag of snacks to Da Hyun and said, can you forgive the tteokbokki? She reached out to take it. Yeah, probably, Buk Jong asked. What about the honey? Da Hyun replied, your voice is already the honey. What else would I buy? Hearing that, she frowned and questioned. You're not going to help me make TikTok videos, right? Is anyone home? She hurriedly said, sorry. Oh, my brother is here. Buk Jong jumped in surprise and shouted, running Kim So-hyun. Da-hyun blushed and muttered, don't call me that, she questioned. Then why are you Kim Da-hyun Sorihan? Their conversation continued non-stop. I told you not to call me that. Hey, I have an idea. Why not make a TikTok channel themed Sorihan over in Da-hyun's room? She shouted, making Sae-in glance over. You want to die or what? So-hyun in his room widened his eyes and whispered. Over there, insane. He looked at the voice and image coming from the cloud, quiet, and wondered, who is that? Am I dreaming? So-hyun wiped a bead of sweat nervously. This is the copy cloud. What can I do with this? Over there, it talks too. He was curious. Could it just stand there like that? Can others see it? How could they? It's a diamond card. So-hyun confirmed. It has a special ability. The system rang again. The copy cloud made him say, huh. The cloud flared up as the system said, you can copy surrounding objects by activating the copy button. It added, if activated, the system will automatically copy for you. So-hyun boldly decided, well, I have to use it to know. Activate the copy button. The system announced, searching for copy targets. Suddenly a voice rang out, hey Kim So-hyun. Da-hyun pushed the door open cheerfully saying, my friends want your autograph. He jumped in surprise thinking, Kim Da-hyun, then shouted, you can't come in here, making her freeze. Huh. The cloud grew bigger, moving straight toward Da-hyun. So-hyun didn't know what else to do, just watched it operate. It quickly turned bright red, wrapping tightly around her. Da-hyun, eyes half closed, panicked, exclaimed, this is, while the system reported, you have copied Kim Da-hyun.